I just woke up, and there's a lot of catching up to do. A lot of awesome things have happened today, and I hope that a lot of you would call in to the show so we could talk about everything that's happened at CitizenCon today. I briefly started watching a microtech demonstration, and didn't get a chance to finish it because I wanted it just to come online real fast. And we're going to be here for the keynote, which is going to be starting up here pretty soon. Let me get this music turned down. There we go. Nice and low. Raj, what is going on, buddy? Christopher Smith. Yes. Oh my gosh, Christopher Smith, that is an understatement. A lot of catching up to do. Lots of catching up. And you guys are going to have to help me. I missed a lot, right? I was sleeping. So we have a lot of catching up to do. Santiago coming in with a lot. Yeah. Sean Johnson, Tony in the building of systems is a must for you. Mind blown. Ed Heron is joining us. Hey, Cobra. It's been lagging. What is going on? Been lagging. Sitcon has been awesome. Hello, Cobra. Just in time. So, guys, look, there is a link in the description. Is a Discord link. And join that Discord. And I will be jumping in the room called... sorry about that. Called Atlas 102.5 FM. Which is a voice room. And you guys can jump in there and tell me all about everything that I've missed. We're going to be checking out the keynote, which I believe is coming up next. Right now they're filling in some time, and then we're going to be jumping into the keynote, which you guys probably have hints to what it's going to be. Like I said, I'm just now waking up, so I am not sure exactly what I'm going to be expecting. I did see a little bit of footage from the microtech, and I'm sitting there with my jaw dropped, getting dry mouth. You know, I got a little bit of slobber coming out of the corners of my mouth there. Like, what? Look at that. Okay, so we're going to be getting into this. All right, we're going to be watching the keynote. I don't know. Does anybody know in the chat when the keynote is exactly? So how many minutes away from the keynote are we? And did they talk about the prison system yet? I can't wait to get into that. Can't wait to see that. It's just too bad that this couldn't be a little bit later, but it's fine. It creates a lot of discussion. You guys already know what's going on. Tony Z stole the show. Check out Tony's system building. Mind blown. We're gonna get into all that, every bit of that. Thank you for coming out to the stream, Sean. Let's see. Nicholas is here. Keynote is coming up next, says Sean. Okay, yeah. We're definitely going to get into all that. All right, so let me get this music turned all the way down because we got them in the background here, and the stream is very low. Is the stream low for everybody else?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you ready?
Oh, here we go.
I said, are you ready?
Yes!
I have been here with bronchitis all day. Are you ready? All right, that sounded ready. Do the thing.
All right, here we go, guys. The adventure continues. I'm going to try and be quiet through most of this, okay? I know, it's really low.
All right.
You mean it's low when you guys are watching it on your own, too?
Hello again.
Andrew F., I will do that.
So, anyway, I was just going to say, hopefully you guys have had a good day so far. There's been a lot of really cool panels. I think Tony Z's last one was pretty cool. It's showing you how we're going to have a very dynamic universe on a high level. And obviously the stuff we had with the various things like the Planet Tech V4, ships, characters, UI. So hopefully you guys got to see some of that. And the marketplace was great. You guys are always great. Well, this is the end. So hopefully we've got something special for the end for you guys. So last year, at the end of CitizenCon, I had the sort of road to release roadmap. As of last year, we said, well, we've achieved 7 of those 12 that we'd set out to do, starting with the hangar and going all the way to location persistence and Planet Tech. But since then, we delivered the OCS and bind culling at the end of last year, which I think made a big difference on the client performance. We got a few things that we're doing this year. So, if I go. So we've showed it, but Planet Tech 3.5 is what we did last year. Sorry, I'm behind on the... Can I not get this up here? Otherwise I'm going to have to look up here. Forget about it. So we had ship purchases, ship rentals, which is actually quite cool because you don't have to buy with cash any of the ships. You can rent or purchase them with the money you're earning in the game. And we've also been shifting to quality of life, staggered development, which is, you saw a little bit of that in Alpha 3.7. We're more serious about that. So we've moved the teams to 6-month cycles. We're still delivering patches every 3 months, but the teams themselves get 6 months to work on their features or their content that will go into whatever patch they're sort of designated for. And I think it gives them more time to do good work and iterate and give you a better experience. And we're slowly working on aspects of the gameplay, in terms of, say, the feel of flight or the feel of combat. We're doing things like, Sean was showing the sort of theaters of war where that's a good sort of contained mode that will allow us to sort of fine-tune what's really cool about Star Citizen, which is sort of the mixed arms, the ability to be on the ground or in a vehicle or up in space. And so we are increasing our focus to make sure that the game experience now is, 3.7 I think is probably our most stable release today. But the game experience now is good, and then it's just improving as we go on. So this is what's coming up next. So in 3.8,
here we go.
We are going to have the very first iteration of server-side OCS.
Wow.
And you guys didn't know it because we didn't want to spoil the thing, but the demo we ran this morning was running it, and this, what we're running right now, is running SOCs, and you'll understand why it's important as we get into the demo, assuming it doesn't crash, which, you never know. To let you know, so it's the first iteration of the server-side OCS. So we have server persistence in the session of the server. So the server, whenever it leaves an area, it streams stuff out. It remembers the state of all the items and all the stuff that was there at that time, but it doesn't persist beyond the server session. The bigger thing, which we've talked about in the future, is sort of the iCache, which is the full persistence. Hang on, what happened here? Weird.
It would be me. That would happen to me.
I don't know, it's not me. This is why I was on this main screen here. I've got a black screen here and a black screen here. Anyway, so I'll talk about persistence. So, okay, now we're back up. So platform persistence is one other thing that we're putting in the 3.8, which is is basically a halfway house to the very full persistence, but the platform persistence is going to allow us to save off the alpha UEC that you've earned, also any items or ships that you've bought or rented in the game are going to, so they're going to get saved off to the platform in the same way that we record all your shop cash purchases. And so when a new release comes, we can re-entitle it back to the account in the same way we do for everything that you do. And the plan with that is to not have to wipe between iterative releases on a major release, and potentially even from one release to the next, And we do reserve the right if there's like a major issue or a major rebalance, or we have to redo the database on a major release, then at that particular time we may have to wipe it. But in general, the goal is to let you guys make money in the game, earn things, collect things, and not have it wiped every time we do a new release.
Yeah, buddy. You hear that, guys?
So we're aiming to ship that. That will hopefully be, that should be with the 3.8 patch cycle. And now Planet Tech V4, which we obviously sort of unveiled at the beginning, and there was some really cool panels about it during the day, which I think is gonna, just the quality of, not just Microtech, but going back to the old places like Daymar or Cellen is whole new world.
Wow.
One of the focuses we got upcoming too, which we not particularly managed to show well this morning, is the social group gameplay, but that is a focus for us to make sure that the FOIP and the VoIP and the group gameplay stuff works well. It's important for us to get stuff working for, as Sean mentioned, for the Theaters of War, but just in general, playing, grouping up with your friends in the universe, doing stuff. And so that is a focus, and you'll see us iterating on that for 3.8, 3.9, and onwards. More robust missions. So we've got some stuff coming up in 3.8 that is interesting. There's we're starting to introduce AI into some of the missions, like say the rescue the hostage on the 890, which we had in an ATV. We were showing a very early version of it that will be in 3.8, and there'll be some other ones along that line of missions, and that's multi-part missions, which also what we're showing is sort of an early version of a multi-part mission, what we showed beginning and we're going to end with here, that 3.9.40 onwards. Then, sometime around about middle of this year, I think, so full universe persistence. And that is the persistence that allows us to save everything, period. So you can take your coffee mug that you've got in the carrack and explore on a planet and drop it in a forest, get back on your carrack, fly away, and someone else could go to that forest and see that coffee mug, or you could come back and see it if someone else hasn't stolen it. And so
that is so cool.
That iterates to every.
Oh my gosh! You imagine the kind of gameplay we can create with that.
In the game gets saved off. So basically, we save the state. It goes back to a cloud database. It's what we're calling the iCache. Of course, there'll be some stuff like, we want to be smart where like people can't like stack 1,000 turtles in a place. So obviously, we'll have some policies on the items. So at some point, when we're saving it to the database, we'll say, well, this is a low importance item. There's too many in this area. So therefore, and this one's been around too long, so we just won't bother saving that to the database. And then you'll just sort of be like, oh, someone came along while you weren't there and took the turtle or cleaned it up. But in general, so the permanent structures. So one thing that gives us is the ability for you as players to go around the universe and ultimately, you want to create your own base somewhere, create your own homestead. You should be able to settle down and put a base there, and it will be recorded back to the iCache, and you can come back to it, and it will be there, and it will persist. And so I think the opportunity for emergent gameplay that comes from that is going to be fantastic, because as you saw with what Tony was doing in his presentation before, we're going to have dynamic resources in the universe. We're also going to persist those. So they'll be finite, so there'll be only so much gold or hadonite or whatever it is on various moons or planets. And as they get mined out, then you'll have to find some other place to move to it. And there's an especially rich seam. I can see a group of players coming, setting up camp there and starting to mine the resources. And then I can see some other groups saying, oh, well, that's great. I want some of that. They show up, and you basically have two groups battling out. And then there's a whole business that's going to be involved in supplying more weapons or logistics or healing people or bringing, consumables that people need. So I think there's going to be this like dynamic, evolving system that will be incredibly interesting and compelling, and I'm really looking forward to that. And that's enabled by the full universe persistence, which is, like I said, the full persistence of all items, ships, characters, and also persistent tracking of the resources.
That's what I was thinking,
And
Forsaken.
then the last thing, which we won't, I think, get to by the end of next year, but we'll be very close to it, is server meshing. And so everything we've been doing up until then, and that's when I think everything fully comes alive, is the server meshing allows us to have a lot more players in the same area. But the work that we've done on the kind of server-side OCS, where you can change the point of view of the server arbitrarily anywhere around, and save off state is exactly what you need for server meshing, because what happens on a server, if more people arrive, say, I don't know, in New Babbage, and you suddenly go, oh, we can only run 100 people or 200 people or whatever the number we can simulate on the server, and there's now 201 people, you say, okay, I'm going to spin up a second server. Here's another view onto New Babbage, and these players are on that, and you just keep on spinning up more to take on the load in areas. And so that's why we needed the server OCS and the bank culling and the full persistence, and it enables server meshing. So that's the next thing. Once we deliver the full persistence, we're actually already starting to work on the network side of what we need for the server meshing right now. But we're really excited about that, because then that's going to allow a sort of dynamic, seamless universe that won't have the same player count restrictions. And by the way, we'll also, we don't know quite with server OCS what we'll be able to do, but we're going to start experimenting with some player counts in the future and maybe upping it, because at the end of the day, if we're not simulating the whole system and it's a smaller subset of that, we'll be able to have more players. So we'll see in the midterm if we can get more players into a server right now, but longer term server meshing is what's going to allow us to really have a fully dynamic universe.
Sir Aaron, yeah, no, buddy. I can't wait for you guys to tell me all about it.
And then on the smaller things that we're going to be working on is, obviously, I've talked about the quality of life. It's an ongoing effort for us. You're only starting to see the very, very beginnings of it. So we have some dedicated teams that just focus on the quality of life. We have what we call the vehicle experience team, that we're working on things to improve how it feels operating and running a vehicle. I mentioned that there was a couple of things like the look ahead, some small stuff that we showed in the opening, but there's a lot more stuff to come, and also in terms of the feel of combat and all the rest of the stuff. We're going to be adding obviously more loops. I think next up we've got sort of fueling, refueling, fuel collection. Then it'll be salvage, more content obviously, and then open up a bit. We'll see what happens. All right. So now we've done that, we're going to head into our demo, but at first let's just recap and I'll get Todd Pappy up here with me, wherever he is. Hello, Pappy. Come on. There we go. All right.
All right, guys, we're about ready to get into the keynote.
So, just in any good TV show,
Got some B-roll here. So this is kind of a recap from what happened earlier. Oh my God, look at that. Look!
all right.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
We're on the Microtech shuttle to the lab.
Oh my gosh, look at that. It's Hoth with trees.
Can we get the quadrant?
And this is a shuttle, just like the Airbus and the train system.
Right. And by the way, Glenn is actually on a AI-flown ship here. And that is something longer term that we're going to be working on, which is AI doing things like taking your shuttle from a space station down to the ground, or various locations that you could go to without having to fly to yourself. So think of it as a bigger version of the transit system. And here's one of the things that I think Ian's talked about, we've talked about, is that we want to increase our range of, we have outposts, but they're pretty small. Correct. And we want to have points of interest that you would have in various planets or moons that you can have mission content in, things to do, and this is sort of this is a sort of first prototype of that.
Yeah, so basically multiple entries, multiple exits. Obviously with Outpost, you got one way in, one way out. So for us, from a design standpoint, this allows us to build these in a modular way so that we can have different entrances, different exits, different room layouts, different mission content associated with it. From there, then we start looking towards towns and villages, and then obviously we have our main cities.
Yeah, but it's a ship that's flown by an AI, so it's just like the Airbus.
Earlier, this is sort of a prototype, first version of a sort of multi-part mission that we discussed and thinking about doing in the longer term, not 3.8 obviously, but 3.9 or on beyond that. Of course, it's cold here in Microtech.
Wow. Look at that planet that you could just go off and explore. This place has such a different feel to it than any other place. Look at the pads, like the elevator pads.
So you'll see, now that we've entered into the room, the temperature that the character feels changes, and he actually starts returning back to normal.
Hopefully our trusty ID card still works. I'm willing to say it does. And we take a look out the side, Glenn, out the window a bit. When you out the window out here. So one other thing, which we're going to get into
look
a
at this
further,
place.
But if we actually take a look outside, the other thing that we're showing here is dynamic weather.
Yes.
And so actually there is a ground snowstorm blowing in. Can you look out the window a little bit, Glenn? Or not? Glenn?
Glenn, can you look out the window?
Just take a look out the window quickly.
Yeah, look out the window, Glenn.
Take a look out here.
Oh, look at the glass. Look at it.
Left a little bit. I think. There, so you can see.
Look at the tree blowing in the wind.
So, all right, we carry on. So
no, don't carry on. Stay there.
Right now.
Oh my gosh! Look at the.
A bit better. But the weather simulation takes into account the humidity, the wind, temperature.
Yes.
Right.
All of that.
And it is dynamic. So it's set up. So not going to have. We've got a couple elements still to come on the fully dynamic planetary weather, which would be volumetric planetary crowds and volumetric ground fog. We have a large amount of the pieces in place for our weather sims, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but let's carry on with our mission. So we're gonna go look for the data center to try and steal the algorithm.
So it says it in the demo, or basically in the mission briefing, that you're looking for server number 5. So we'll be looking around and getting closer and working our way over there.
And try not to be too conspicuous. And the idea with these kind of missions in the longer term is to have the ability to do like stealth gameplay instead of combat gameplay, so solve some puzzles. Yes. So it's not just going to be about shooting people all the time.
Well, and it's something that Tony and you and I have talked about a long time ago, which is basically breadcrumbs as well. So it opens up to other aspects.
So we want a sort of combination of sort of the procedural dynamic stuff that would be generated by the universe simulation that Tony was showing earlier, plus some more crafted, multi-stage, kind of more narrative missions, and they all get mixed in to give you a really sort of nice flavor and variety of things to do. So, like, we need to figure out a good way. We're gonna we kind of know a good way, but as a game player, you would actually have to suss this out. So we're gonna go back here in the maintenance area. Great.
No way. He's not going to go in there. Oh my gosh, he is. It's so cool.
Very quiet, great.
Yes. In the future, obviously, the AI will have certain stims that they can react to, and you know, audio is one of them. Having certain objects that the player places around would be another way to distract AI.
And you know, again, there was things like we took the Glenn's going to take his paw. There's like locks on the multi-tool, and we can pretend we're going to paw them off.
What?
Or not. There you go. But yeah, this is the idea. Is, you know, like the FPS like the multi-tool has different modes: cutting, could be mining, could be welding, repairing. In this particular case, we're just going to cut the 4 kind of hinges, locks off, so we can take the grate open and get through it.
No way.
And again, this is, you know, I think we've talked a little bit about, you know, especially with something like whether the weather or the temperature, it's about taking, like, the physical inventory, taking the things you need. So do I need a tool to go and do something? Do I need to have an outfit that will keep me warm, or you know, protect me from fire?
And, I mean, I think even with our combat and everything like that, we want people to actually think about what they need to do first.
No offense taken, procedural traveler. Endless idea machine, and we actually see those ideas come to fruition.
No, he's looking how to turn that off.
Every 3 months.
It's on the bottom here. Go down here. There. See that square? Move your cursor down.
At least there are some games trying to continuously improve.
Your mouse isn't working?
Yeah. Aye.
Aye. All right, Glenn's managed to crash. That can't be right, right? Come out, do that. That's one way.
There we go.
Okay, well done. So that's the, you know, as you guys know, there's an inventory. There's a personal inner thought system, which is Richard is the personal inner thought with 3.8 or 3.9. 3.9. So the personal, so yeah, that's sort of work in progress. But the personal inner thought is in 3.9, which allows you to access a whole bunch of sort of actions or interactions that are sort of on you or would be your thoughts. And so that's a very early version that obviously for some reason is bugged, but we weren't actually meant to end up triggering that.
So we're looking for a data card.
And we're going to steal some data. Oh, there's a guard on that side. Just make sure you stay out of that way, Glenn. There you go. Okay, come over here. There we go. Take the data card.
You can take that one, or I think he clocked one on the desk, I think.
Okay. It was risky. Okay, quick. Right. Back. There we go. And then maybe under here to get to the other side. By the way, one of the reasons why, yeah, there you go. One of the reasons, obviously, why Microtech, they like this planet and it being cold is to essentially cool all their, you know,
the server
systems
farms?
and server farms, yeah.
Yes.
It's like a big Microsoft. All right, let's try to get some data.
No, I think Procedural Traveler was being, like...
Okay, this is building block UI, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that's all put
Intelligently
together by a designer
sarcastic.
fairly quickly without
I think it
having
was
to
actually a
have
compliment.
Flash programmers or...
Sorry, Procedural.
Okay. Let's get it.
Whoops.
Let's get out of here with our ill-gotten gains. Oops. Can't really go that way.
Yeah.
All right, let's... Alright, I don't know. This looks alright. Ooh, alright, Glenn. Just pretend that you're blending in. Okay.
Do you mind telling us what the hell is going on? Hey, talking to you. This is our project. You can't just freeze us out like this.
Jeez, is my wife there?
Alright.
I had flashbacks.
Ooh, jeez. That was close. You almost put it on top of his... Okay. Oops-a-daisy. I think we better get out of here, Glenn.
Uh-oh.
So we have non-lethal takedowns now.
Okay, let's get out. Yeah, it's part of that. So melee combat does ship
Yes.
with 3.8, and it's a lot more than just that. But it's non-lethal takedowns. You'll be able to fight,
To knock people out.
knock people out, get into fisticuffs. There's a whole sort of different levels of punch, left, right, block, left, right. It's all actually physically based. So we've grabbed something kind of warm, but we're not really ready
at the
to it.
snow.
We've actually stashed a getaway environment suit. And Richard Trier, I want to bring up to the stage. So Richard's the lead designer on our actor feature team, and I'd like him to talk a little about what is happening right here and the beginning of the actor status system that will ship in 3.9.
So what you're seeing here is basically an extension of the room system, and the room system contains temperature, wind speed, humidity, and it basically amalgamates all of that into what you're seeing on the HUD at the moment, which is the apparent temperature. So the apparent temperature actually comes in and it's part of our player status system.
Look.
And the player status system is where you start to feel these environments, and the actual environments start to play into the gameplay. So you can see here that actually the physicalized wind, he's actually leaning into the wind, he's putting his hand up to try and shield himself, but he's not wearing the correct attire. So he's not wearing the correct equipment, because he's just basically grabbed the clothes and jumped outside. And as you can see, it's really cold. So he's starting to shiver.
Bottom side here, it is.
Yeah, it's like
minus
120 degrees Celsius. So obviously, you can only survive at like at least 2-3 minutes in that temperature. So he's actually starting to undergo hypothermia, which is part of our status effects. And hypothermia actually ties into the gameplay. So his heart starts to raise, his stamina starts to decrease, he starts to actually physically start to see, you'll see a whiteout, so he starts to become more sensitive to the light, and his audio will start to come in as well, to actually really sell that your body is shutting down. And the player status system really, it just incorporates multiple different things. So hypothermia is part of the temperature gameplay, and you're seeing the cold aspect here. But eventually that will be for heat, as well as other active status as well. But you can see here, it's starting to see the other value on here that you see is the apparent temperature, but the other value is the body temperature. Now the body temperature is tracking your internal body. So, and I think it's, what is it down by now? It's like down at like 33 degrees.
We forgot
Celsius.
to put the drop shadow on the thing. And so we're not in the suit. We actually have a suit that we stashed in the cave, which we're looking for. The other thing that you may have noticed when Glenn was going to the third-person view, but we're working on environmental shader effects. So there was snow accumulation on the jacket that he wore. You notice, you go back and look at what it was when he got it and what it is now. And with that, accumulation is meant to be for things like snow, rain, dust, dirt, and that's something that we're looking to have in 3.9. So you really feel the environment.
The biome, that basically your environment. So
yes.
It'll build up over time.
Build up. So we better get a warm suit on, because otherwise we're going to essentially pass out.
Look at the new
this
UI
suit is
in the bottom.
Cold, so hopefully when Glenn puts it on, you'll see actually that it's actually frosted, so you can see actors actually shivering here as he's putting it on.
Oh, wow,
This
look at
suit
that.
is the Caldera suit that we revealed in the character archetype talk, and this is an environment suit that's built for these extreme climates.
Look at him shaking.
He's really
That is
cold.
so freaking
He's
cool.
really cold.
So you'll see the visor's frosted up.
You can see,
and
this is like getting into your car when it's frozen. It's frozen, and the visor's actually frosted up, your suit's frosted up, and as your suit kicks in, this suit has an operating range that can actually survive these temperatures.
Wow, look at the frost on that thing.
So yeah, and if we go, and you'll see it now, because the same effects that we saw in the windshield, you definitely see
So think of it like your car.
So a visor, you're going to see, because it's a big winter storm, snow, slush that's warm.
Look at the freaking moisture. You got to be kidding me, guys.
Is Lessar is tough, and then I think the other person that I'd like to bring up is Mike Snowden, who's the director of our visual effects, and his team is being responsible for all the environmental weather effects here. And this is what we're doing on the snow side, but it same could work in, a desert planet for dust, rain, and we've actually prototyped a lot of this stuff outside snow, but you're seeing the snow has been our first example. So I don't know if you want to talk about some of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so this is all, the main thing about these effects is they're completely data-driven, so I'll put a lot of time into creating these rule sets. The way that we author the effects is completely different to anything we've done before, because we know that we can make beautiful looking storm effects, but the really cool thing about this, no pun intended, is that it's literally the data that the planet gives us, so this ties in with the Planet Tech V4, which obviously we're showing off today. It ties in with all the active status stuff, so it's like bringing everything together. So they look fantastic, but they're completely driven by what the game data is.
Yeah, the temperature, altitude, humidity, and so it's systemic, and it's
I mean,
and it'll be affected by time of day and other things.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so the rule sets are things like temperature, even elevation, wind strength, wind direction, even angle. There's a lot of complexity in the rule set that makes it really easy actually for us in the long term to make the effects across all the kind of hundreds of planets that will eventually.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously you can see the effect of the winds on the vegetation.
Yep.
So, and as you see here, we're in fog. You see the snow. Our visor is getting, it's like you would be, in a snowstorm if you were
Absolutely.
skiing or out there. So we stashed a suit. We actually had a rover that we've stashed that goes in our carrack.
So
we're looking for right now.
One of the things before we go on too far, the other thing is with the armors, you will run into planets that are outside your temperature range, and so you might last there for 15 minutes. But obviously, we want to make sure that it's very lucrative for you to be able to, go in there and risk reward gameplay for it.
Yeah, so be equipped. That's why you would have a big ship and buy different armor and store it. Okay, so here's our rover, which we've hidden with a little tarp. And this is going to be a much more larger example of the cloth interaction system. So, all right, Glenn, let's get the tarp off and get into the rover.
Oh my gosh, that is ridiculously cool. Why not, Chris Roberts, right? Why not literally have to pull the tarp off? Why not?
Okay, we can drop it now.
That's why I love this man. I love this man. Then it just blows away in the wind.
And again, that's an example of all the physics stuff coming together, the cloth interacting, the wind's blowing it.
And the wind itself here, one thing I wanted to call out is that the wind is different strengths depending on where you are. So if you're down in the tree line or in the troughs, the wind is actually a lot slower. And then as you get more exposed, that wind comes out. So it really is a dynamic environment.
And as you see, as we get into here now, the temperatures come up, the water's evaporating from our visor, and we have a clearer view. Mm-hmm. But of course, the outside of the rover now will have the effect on its canopy.
Yep.
All right, let's let Sam know that she needs to pick us up.
Get some rain eggs. It works. Trust me. We're not sponsored.
This isn't going to work because of the go-to setup. Because the go-tos break the dollar.
I'm gonna need a pickup.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, hello?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a pickup down the bottom of the hill.
On my way.
Okay.
Right, got it.
Come on, you need to act. You're like, I need to pick up now. It's freezing out here.
Because
That's what I would have done.
Background, zoom to the right place, which doesn't actually do the server check right. So it hasn't streamed, and it's actually, you are seeing some of the stuff because this is in server OCS, so we don't have everything all the time now. So when things go in and out, we've still got edge cases, and that's one of the issues that we have to fix before server OCS haven't, but it'll be fine.
Man, it's almost zero visibility
Area,
right
so
now.
Make sure you get a little noisy for Glenn.
And it wasn't earlier.
Oh. All right.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
See the fog starting to thin out now as we're going a little further down. That's
Yeah. So, like as we're further down, it's not quite as thick. The weather is not quite as intense. I know. It's scaring the shit out of me.
There he goes.
Show off, Glenn.
Oh, look at, did you see that? That was awesome. Look at this, guys. Look at that planet. The weather just... How do you lose your ship? Anonymous guy who has zero education on anything concerning Star Citizen.
Good job, Glenn.
Yeah. I remember when it was almost impossible to get a rover into a ship, but now we can do it. It's great.
Man, that is awesome.
And here's an example of, so we're talking about storage. So these are actually meant to be for suit storage. Still kind of early days on the stuff, so it's a bit wonky, but we put our suit in there. We need it. So the idea is that you would have suits and stuff that you would store depending on what you would need.
Chris,
on different
that's
planets.
fine. That's how video games are. They could just do what it just did. You don't need to take a year to make it to where we hang it up one piece at a time with animations. It's fine, Chris. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Oops, hang on. We got a crime stat. And I think someone's shooting us from behind.
Yeah, I got a pretty hefty crime stat. We're gonna have to get out of here.
We're being tailed.
Oh my gosh, look at that crime stat. Which I don't understand because he didn't get caught.
All right, come on.
So this is our first iteration of ship AI in atmosphere.
Yeah. So we are being tailed by Microtech Security because they figured out that we've stolen the data and we're making a getaway.
You can play the game Anonymous Guy, earn some money, fake money in the game, and then get, you know,
All right,
just
come on.
get your ship back.
So our little turret.
It's called a game. You don't lose it forever. Wow, look!
There we go.
Oh. Wi-Fi, people that play consoles aren't scrubs. Come on. Have a little bit more respect for people. You have to use your in-game money, Anonymous Guy, to purchase more insurance.
Hey, Sam, why don't you bank?
When the game finally releases, you won't be able to purchase ships anymore with real money. Now, can we just enjoy the keynote? We can talk about those things later.
Okay, last one. Okay, we got one more, right?
Was that all of them?
No, there's one more. Here he is. Yeah. Sam's basically flying the ship to try and give Glenn a good shot. All right. Come on, get him. Probably not.
Don't make me take it. You gotta do it.
Go on.
Yeah, you can actually see a snowstorm in the distance there in the background. As we're leaving, that was where we came from. Do we have to kill them all to advance?
Yeah, you can punch it.
Okay, come on, Glenn. No pressure.
Joe, take him out.
I don't know I was shooting down either.
Guy flies like I do. I don't feel so bad now.
shooting.
Okay, Glenn, come on.
Did it take us this long? I don't remember.
Lovely.
There we go.
No. No.
Skills after all.
Come on, Glenn.
Got it. There you go, Glenn. All right.
Hey! So why don't we get out of here, Sam?
Wait, that's Glenn? Glenn's a girl? Is it
Do we have a
Glenda?
Mission update.
We get it later.
Okay. Let's get out of orbit then.
Well, good job, girl. Good job.
That's a bit. It's kind of. When we run these run-throughs, it did not take. That was the
No,
longest it's taken.
yeah.
It was. It's a bit
Good
nervous
AI.
on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to wait till.
You do a
Infinite
sideways
Gamer.
plan,
What's up,
kinda
buddy?
cool too. Just go to the sort of side. and
Look
around.
at that, guys. Just look at that planet.
Glenn.
Yeah,
Side.
he's got it. He had me. See the beauty. Microtech's very pretty. All right.
But yeah, Good Ace, you can play this right now and actually see what it's like. Because it's not fully released, but you could buy or pay $45 and play
There's
this.
trees down there, those dots. That's cool. So is okay. So now we're gonna QT, right? Okay, let's get it. Let's get going.
She's having trouble with the HUD.
With the what?
She's having trouble with the HUD.
Okay.
In February, I believe, Wi-Fi.
Get up. Get up, and then...
Yeah.
No,
Once
no,
I get out of atmosphere, it should
Yeah.
help. I hope.
Okay, the lady was Sam. I got it, guys. Okay.
Says flight systems damaged.
Right, but the
Yeah.
attenuated panel.
Oh, what's happened on that one?
Sam, can you hit B and do it? Can you hit B and do it?
Yeah, I think I can find it with B, hopefully. It was quite long.
Well, you pay $60, Good Ace, for games that they lie to you and tell you that they're done, but and then they update in your living room.
Okay.
So
go.
it's all perspective, Good Ace. Don't be a hypocrite. Pay close attention to your library.
Gotta get the nav. It's funny, that whole thing drives me nuts. Okay.
Enjoy the keynote, guys. Why is there so many people that are actively searching for something they don't like? That's weird to me.
All right. Do we have the mission now to go to planet?
Should be. Should be coming.
So when's it come? You don't need to rush, by the way, Glenn. Yeah. So should we get the mission now? What's that?
You should see it up top.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Hey, Glenn, can you check your
mission status. You should have had the update for where they were. I'm not sure if you saw it.
All right, I'll ignore
Yeah,
them. I'm
delivered
sorry.
to
I,
Loon Station.
I just,
There you go.
this is my
So-
first Citizen-Con, and I had no idea why there's so many people
I guess
turning
we
up
should
like this. I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
we got the data. We've now told where we got to go. We got to go to Ruin Station in. There we go. So here we go. Go exterior, Glenn. Exterior. There you go. Show it off. There you go.
What in the world's that? What? Oh.
And this is in the volumetric cloud, the
Yes.
space cloud tech that we have. Same stuff that we're using for Squadron 42 for the coil, but as you can see, usable everywhere else. It's completely volumetric lit in, and it's beautiful.
Wow. Uh-oh.
And here we're at the jump point to the pyro system.
What?
Now, you don't necessarily need infrastructure for jump points, but the more traveled ones are the ones that used to be traveled, which pyro used to be, but not particularly anymore, have what we call jump rings around them, and they help stabilize the jump point to make for a smoother jump. If you don't have one, then it's more difficult, and the entrance is harder or difficult. But sometimes you may want to try a sort of side jump point to get into a system, like if you're a smuggler, because the main ones would be more, essentially, they are like a checkpoint. It's like going through a border
port.
patrol or something.
It is basically a port. So when we're building the solar system, one of the things that we think about are entrances for obviously economy reasons, and you saw that with Tony Z's talk of a way to interject new things into the solar system. So around the Stanton jump points, the three major ones, we will have space stations, so that you can go and travel. And let's say you had a long jump point and want to stop and basically drop something off there, you
Or
can.
refuel,
or
or- yeah,
refuel,
exactly.
or do whatever you need to do. So we will have space stations around those jump points that you can go and interact with. Now, obviously, when you go into a little bit more lawless system, I don't want to say like building a wall.
Yeah. Well, in the case of Pyro, it used to be a regulated system.
Yes.
That once they strip mined it out, no one goes there anymore, and it's fallen sort of into a lawless state. And so
Johnny,
this
yes,
is not really
definitely we
a
will.
very often traveled jump point, but we're going to take it because that's where we have to go to head to Pyro Station.
We're going to
See
Pyro?
The jump ring, which is delineating where the point is off in the distance, and Sam is going to line herself up for us to jump to Pyro System.
No way.
And this is essentially sort of the infrastructure you occasionally would, you can have around. Some places would have bigger stations, but as I said, the Pyro route isn't a very particularly well-traveled one.
But also with this, I guess with the cloud tech, you see the possibilities of us going in and mining that, and then it affecting your radar, it being booby-trapped, all these kind of gameplay possibilities, I feel, open up with these unique points of interest.
My gosh, look at that, guys.
You guys think we should open?
Yes.
I think we should go. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, look at that. This is what happens when you have a fan-funded project.
That's actually a super cool view. You see that one? Oh, yeah. How good that is. That looks awesome. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So going through a wormhole is a little bit like riding the rapids. You don't really have much. You have lateral control,
But it's
a little bit of
being on a
forward, but you're
current.
being pushed on a current,
Yeah.
and you've got to keep inside the boundaries of the wormhole. And actually, if Sam gets a little close, you'll sort of see interference on his screens. And of course, Stanton's just going away in the background, and Para's coming in here. Yeah, and you can see there's actually a current that we put in the wormholes, and you sort of see the particles that are giving you the idea where the center line current is. And you have to anticipate to keep on the course, because if you don't, and you go off and you go into the boundaries of the wormhole, you could end up just being spat out in just space in the middle of nowhere,
Oh my gosh.
or severely damaged.
Hey, if she could do it, I could do it. She doesn't look like she's confident. I'm not confident. My gosh, I'm gonna fail. I can see it now. I'm gonna end up outside of that wormhole. Whoa! Good job, girl.
Go around, Glenn. Okay, so we are now in the pyro system, and we streamed out Stanton as we were traveling, and streamed in pyro.
It looks like a cutscene, but it's not.
The other side, by the way, has got an awesome light on the side. Yeah.
My gosh, look at that. Look at the lightning. What?
Set a route to the ruin station, Sam.
What is on fire down there?
There we go.
There we go.
All right, Ian. Hit it.
No!
Good
Oh,
job, guys.
man.
Good job.
Good job. We made it. No crashes. Woohoo! Close one on the interaction. Good job. All right. So hang on a sec. I get another. There should be a slide that we go to. Not a ship. A slide. Come on. Where's the slide? There you go. Anyway, so in this coming year, we were sort of showing you what we're going to do. So we are going to have the pyro system next year. Obviously, that brings in jump points. We're going to have dynamic weather. We're going to be, Microtech, you're going to get the planet itself in 3.8, but we'll be opening up new Babbage in 3.9. We've got moons of Microtech that come in, I think, in 3.9 and we'll be continuing on the development of SOCs and the iCache and the persistence, and it's pretty damn exciting. I'm really
Yeah, it is,
coming
buddy. That's an
together.
understatement.
And the detail that I didn't think anyone thought would be possible. So, hopefully you guys liked it. So I'd like to give a big shout out to everyone on stage that's helped with the demo here. Glenn and Simon, Joe and Rob are backstage somewhere. Thank you very much. They did a great job. Todd, Mike, Richard, John, who I didn't pull up. He got lucky. He didn't have to go in front of people. Jared over there. Also, we got, I think there's about 200 developers or so here from mostly the Manchester, but some the German office, some the Austin office, some the LA office. So thank you, I mean, to all the developers, because I can stand up here and you guys all clap and it's nice for me, but really I'm not doing all this stuff. There's a lot of really talented developers that do everything that you've been seeing here, seeing during the day, and they've worked really hard, and I think things like CitizenCon are one of the coolest things. So they get to come, they get to meet all you guys, they get to interact with people that are appreciating the work they're doing. So it's good, and I want to say thank you to all our developers because they work really, really hard and do a great job. And then we also have, obviously the event staff and the volunteers have done an amazing job with this CitizenCon. I mean, wandering around, it's brilliant. I mean, going back to the very first ones and to what we are now, it's amazing. But thank you to everyone that's put the show together. I think, I don't know what Leia is, but no, she was producing it, but she did an amazing job. David Roth, he did an amazing job. And everyone that did it on the support side. To everyone on our operations, support, marketing, thank you for CG. And then you guys, thank you so much for supporting this crazy dream that's getting a little more real every day. Thank you, really, totally. So everyone out there on the internet, everyone here, we couldn't be here. We wouldn't be getting to do this amazing stuff without your guys' support, so we really appreciate it. And I am very thankful. And I guess we talked about maybe, do you want to see the carrot commercial one last time or something? And then we get some drinks, and I'll be there and sign things. And okay, all right, let's do the carrot commercial. And thank you very much, everybody.
I gotta watch this commercial again. And then we're gonna open up Discord, start taking callers.
My father always used to say I had wanderer's legs. We all wonder, what's out there? But for me, it was more than that. A stranger in my own world. I set out to find my path. Through all my travels, through all the trials of the unknown, I came to realize that there was really only one thing I'd been looking for. A place to call home.
Oh, man. Nice. Very, 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 very nice. All right, so we are going to be taking callers, get the conversation going here. So let me go ahead and open up Discord. Let's see. Whoops, wrong button. What do you think, guys? Pyro? Microtech is coming up. And one of the things that I definitely missed was the talk about the prisons. I totally missed that. All right, let me go ahead and get this turned down, and then we'll jump into the... We'll jump into Discord here. There we go, and can't wait to get you guys on. All right. I'm going to jump in here to the subcast room real quick and talk to Forsaken Warlord, and then I'll be in there with you guys in the Atlas 102.5 FM room, and we'll get this going. Forsaken Warlord, what is going on, buddy? How are you?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Super excited. I haven't seen much because, you know, I work third shift and I just woke up. And I got a chance to see a little bit of Microtech, and of course, we just got done watching the keynote. What have you thought about so far today?
I'm pretty shell-shocked, actually, to tell you the truth.
I am too, man. I am too. Did you get a chance to hear anything about the prisons?
No, that was on the second stage. All that stuff was not live, but it'll be uploaded to YouTube later.
Okay, so it's going to be uploaded later, probably within the next couple days.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, all right. So what did you think of the keynote?
The keynote was really neat, and the thing about it is the end keynote was definitely the best, but the beginning still shows off. I mean, Planet version 4 or whatever they called it,
right? From
a distance, you can make out everything on the planets now.
Yes. Oh yeah. And that weather tech. Oh my gosh. The way the Walking Cat, thank you so much for subscribing, buddy. The weather tech, how the moisture just goes onto the ship windshield on your helmet, you know, the humidity, how it's melting. The snow melts as soon as it hits your warm suit. And just how it went from just nice, calm, cold planet to zero visibility in no time.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Sure is, man. Sure is. So, are you, I just realized that you've been a backer of Star Citizen for a long time, and you've been a subscriber here for a while.
Yeah, I used to have two YouTubes. I don't know which one I first subscribed to. I've watched you on YouTube since 2013.
Wow. That's a long time, man.
I think my other YouTube account that's deleted may have been the one I was subscribed to back then.
Yeah, and I had no idea this entire time you know, there's been a couple people throughout the years like, Cobra, you got to take a look at Star Citizen. Cobra, you got to start covering Star Citizen. You got to take a look. And I didn't ignore it. I was watching bits and pieces here and there, right? And as you know, I didn't have a computer that could play it properly, so the very few times that I did try to jump in and play it, I didn't have a very good experience because the computer was pretty much a desk decoration or a paperweight. And here recently, I decided to try it with the new computer, and it plays flawlessly. And I've been blown away ever since. Completely fell in love with the project.
Yeah, I know. When I kept up with Star Citizen since 2015. I didn't buy it till 2016, but I was heavily into No Man's Sky since midnight launch day, and I kind of started falling off from it and going by patch basis, coming back after each patch. But I love it still. It's my favorite game that I've ever bought, and I platinumed it on PlayStation. But ever since I've gotten into Star Citizen, I just can't believe every time I see every year.
Right. And I've said this before. I keep bringing it up, and there's a lot of people that disagree with me because for some reason there seems to be like this space game tribalism, where it's either got to be Elite Dangerous, or it's either got to be this game or that game. And I understand. I think I'm starting to maybe kind of understand why, because there's a lot of a time investment, like in investing a lot of your time in some of these games. Like Elite Dangerous does take a lot of investment of your time, right? Star Citizen takes a lot of investment of your time, and so on with No Man's Sky. All those games, space games. But I've never been, because I own Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, Star Citizen. I own all that stuff, and I like Star Wars. I like Star Trek, and I just can't get enough of sci-fi. And I might play Star Citizen nonstop. Maybe at the end of the night, I jump in for a quick 30 minutes of No Man's Sky for a little bit, and then Elite Dangerous, I'll jump into that from here and time again and stuff. But it's sci-fi games, man. That's what I love. I want to see more. I want to see someone come out and make another sci-fi game just like Chris Roberts is making, because I want more. Okay, call me a spoiled little brat, but I want more sci-fi games. And the three games that I mentioned, they're like the three pillars of the gaming industry right now. Yeah, there's more. There's Space Engineers, which is an amazing game, right? But the three pioneers, three pillars of the space industry right now is Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, and Star Citizen. Each and every one of those games has a different reason to own them. Elite Dangerous is a very simulator game, space trucking. You can't get out of your ship unless you go into a rover. It's got that space sim feel to it. And then you got No Man's Sky, which is like a Gene Roddenberry Star Trek, like the old Star Trek, the classic, the original, where you go onto the very colorful planets and stuff like that. It's very instant. If you only have like 30 minutes to play, No Man's Sky is a great game to pop in and play a little bit of No Man's Sky. There's not a whole lot of investment of your time on doing most of the things in No Man's Sky. Star Citizen, on the other hand, is kind of a mixture between both of those. It's somewhat simulator. These ships are still a bit arcadey to fly, but a little bit more complicated than arcadey, if that makes any sense. And then you got the planet exploration. You've got the realism look to it. It's not the Gene Roddenberry look, classic Star Trek. And it's just, every one of these games has categories that, for me, if I want everything that I need to own all three of these. Sorry, tangent over. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I don't know how everybody else feels, but that's just how I feel.
I think if you like a game, you should play it. I think people just get stuck on. I don't think people realize that No Man's Sky is what it's supposed to be. They think that it was supposed to be something else, and that maybe, it doesn't have futuristic graphics like Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous or something like that. But that's what it was set out to be, a sci-fi novel type game.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. They all have their reasons to own them based on what you want out of living in a sci-fi environment. Forsaken, why don't me and you jump over into the Atlas room and talk to the everybody over there?
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Let's go on over there.
Community's been looking forward to that. Hey, Cobra, how's it going, man? How was your first CitizenCon?
Super hype. My gosh, dude, I was blown away. I was actually, look, I know people were trying to watch the keynote, so I was trying to keep quiet as much as possible. And two things were sidetracking me from that, just...
Anybody hear Cobra?
Huh? What? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
He's got us muted. He's talking out there on the stream.
No, I.
Oh.
Wait.
No, he's talking to us. He's talking to us.
Hang on, let me come back. All right, now can you hear me?
There you are.
We can hear you.
Now we can hear you, buddy.
All right. Yeah, no, it was, dude, I was trying so hard to keep quiet during that because I know a lot of people were trying to watch the keynote. Yeah, it was wonderful, man. I was sidetracked by all the pretty things and the awesome stuff to look at the weather effects. I just wanted to completely scream and pound the desk. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing.
Did you see the whole day, all 8-9 hours today?
No, I've been sleeping. I work third shift, so I just woke up about 2 hours ago.
Okay, so did you catch Tony Zervik's panel?
No, but I see that in the chat. Everyone's saying you got to watch Tony's panel. You got to watch.
He's a god.
What is it?
It was freaking amazing. So Tony Zervik is Krista's right-hand person. He is in charge of the entire persistent universe. Like everybody else working in the persistent universe is really kind of under him in one way, shape, or form. Primarily driven by the economy, which seems simple, but it actually drives all of the gameplay that's going to be coming in the verse, from the cargo hauling to pirates to bounty hunting to I can't even begin to describe it. It's so complex. But watch that panel and you'll kind of see what blew us all away. The longtime Star Citizen backers that are really geeks over this is that he's been talking about this since like 2000 and when did he come on, like 2013? I think real early on.
Yeah, he's been there a while. Yeah,
from nearly the very beginning, and he's been talking about his plans for the future and all of the trading values. So like if you go in and you buy a commodity and whatever its value is, and then you sell it, those are just mostly fixed data points right now. They vary a tiny bit, but in the future, all that's going to vary a lot more by supply and demand and actual production of spaceships, of weapons, of ship components. So if ArcCorp is building power plants, that power plant requires so much raw materials of aluminum, laranite, titanium, et cetera, all those have to come from production nodes. And so that generates essentially kind of buy orders. And then either players or NPCs will go and pick those up from some location. And so it generates missions and pirates. And they created a tool that we didn't think was coming for a long time, that is dynamically creating simulated NPCs and a tremendous amount of data. I can't even begin to describe it. You've got to watch it.
I know.
After you watch it.
I know how to compare. You know the Dark Knight where Batman has all the screens on the TV and it's telling him where all the people are in the movies.
Yeah,
it's basically that. But and for the developers, it'll tell you where the players are, if the players are dying, if the NPCs are creating missions where there's a lot of traffic of pirates, so they can bring in players as security or NPC security, or the pirates themselves can make missions asking for pirate players to come and help them out and take over a very big supply of X commodity, etc. It's basically that.
Wow.
Yeah, but
well, can't hear you, buddy. Could barely hear you. You were really loud, and all of a sudden you got really silent. No.
He's fine on our end. I think it's your input.
All right, let me try. Hold on. Okay, go ahead and say something.
All right, how about now?
Good. Sorry.
All right, I think I won't have a computer capable of playing it till January, and just watching the keynote has made me extremely excited for January. Like, you were saying at one point that some people were, complaining about this, that, and the other thing, and I'm just sitting here going, it's an alpha. But even so, look at what they've done with it.
Yeah,
it is
I know.
So cool.
I don't look. I know this is my first CitizenCon, but there was so many people coming in just to say like really horrible things and put it down. It's like, what kind of person sits around just to look for things they don't like?
There's a whole army of people that hate on Star Citizen because of these fake narratives that have been created out there initially by. There was a particular person who we won't mention, and it's really been used by the gaming. I hate to call them fake media, but the gaming. Some of the gaming media likes to really use Star Citizen as a whipping boy, where it's always coming. They're always coming out and saying how troubled development is and how behind schedule they are and this and that and the other, and they don't actually know what's going on. They don't actually follow development. They don't actually know, like, that they're delivering so much, and it's really been used by the gaming. I hate to call them fake media. Some of the gaming media likes to really use Star Citizen as a whipping boy, where they're always coming out and saying how troubled development is and how behind schedule they are and this and that and the other, and they don't actually know what's going on. They don't actually follow development. They don't actually know.
Wasn't it sorry said?
Greg, can you mute your Steam stream or something?
Whoa! All right, something weird's going on here.
Yeah, something's real weird. It's double feeding.
There we go.
Yeah, it's Bragg.
Yeah.
Braggle, could you?
Could someone move him?
How's that feeding back in?
If you guys tap on his name, you can lower his volume.
Okay.
I'm still hearing it twice.
Yeah, Braggle, if whoa.
All right, I server muted him. Braggle, I'm sorry.
Cobra, you got leg.
Whoops, sorry.
One of the things I've noticed about people who, talk bad about Star Citizen is they've never actually played it, or they played it one day and that was it. And it's just like, okay, you know what? I have never played Star Citizen. Right now, I'm primarily Elite Dangerous because I don't have a computer that can handle Star Citizen yet. But even I'm not going to turn it down just because it's an alpha and it's got bugs. I love the bugs, believe it or not.
Well,
sometimes yes. Look, the bugs. Yeah, sometimes they actually accidentally create emergent gameplay. Okay, let me explain that. Real quick, and we'll go back to what you were saying. One of the bugs was one of the machines that you deliver your box to. It wasn't working, right? And I get there. I land, I get my box out of my ship, and I was going to deliver it to this drop-off machine on, I think it was disposal and reclamation, and there were boxes everywhere. I thought there was a trap. I thought somebody was killing players before they could drop their box off, right? So I was scared, immediately scared, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. There's people that are just probably griefing people before they could deliver the box. So I hurry up, I go up to it, and it doesn't work. It said it's something's wrong. It's just not working. It was a bug. You couldn't deliver your box. So how many times in real life have you went to go get a Coca-Cola out of a machine? It just ate your dollar. It won't work. You can't get your Coke out. Or your Twinkie kind of falls between the glass and the spring. Yeah. And you don't want to shake it because there's a security guard right over there. It's like it was just like that. It was just like showing up at a place and the machine was out of order. Yes, it was a bug, but it kind of felt like real life. It really did. But so I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, I've always I've always thought this, and it's a little bit conspiratorial. I think the reason the media attacks Star Citizen is because it's an independent project. There is no major publisher that is behind it, and the mainstream media works a lot with their publisher friends. And in my opinion, to me, the reason why they attack it is because they think that, if they attack it enough, maybe Star Citizen will get passed on to EA or someone as a publisher, and the publishers will be able to make their cut. And there's a little bit of conspiracy theory about that, but
there's a little of that conspiracy theory that goes around. But I think it's really easier to explain people's inability to understand the changing narrative and the changing scope of Star Citizen, because when it came out at Kickstarter in 2012, they said Squadron 42 was going to release in 2014, and unfortunately, it at the time that it was dreamed up, they didn't realize what it was going to become. They didn't realize it was going to become this monstrosity and this incredible dream of being everything. It was really a much more limited scope at the time, and it was going to be just a space game. They weren't even really going to have planets that you could land on.
With what you said, let's stop right there with what you said. Now, I want to ask you a question and everybody else a question. Go back and look at that old footage, and you said 2014, correct?
The original Kickstarter was 2012. They said it was going to release in 2014.
Okay, so go back and look at that footage, and then compare it to what is playable right now, and ask yourself, would you have wanted the game released the way it looked then?
No chance.
Right, exactly. So why are we punishing people for delaying a game to make it better? Right? Somebody once said a delayed game is a good game.
You voted on it. He gave us a choice.
Most people seem to think it's vaporware, and I understand the connotation. I understand where they get that from, but at the same time, I mean, we are talking about a game that is consistently releasing updates.
Well,
they're consistently talking to their community, so I don't see how it is vaporware.
Well, it's definitely not vaporware, but the difference is that we're actually playing it and following it, and the vast majority of the gaming community doesn't know anything about it, or the only thing that they know about it is a few headlines that they read about. It's like, oh, that's that game that's been in development hell forever, and they keep saying they're going to release, and it keeps getting pushed back. And this is the narrative that's out there from the people who don't follow it. They don't read they don't watch the weekly shows, they don't play the game, they don't talk to anybody, they don't even see the YouTube videos. They're out there playing Fortnite and Call of Duty and
Elite
Dangerous, whatever else. I think probably Elite Dangerous people and EVE people are the most likely to have slightly more awareness because they're space nerd people. But again, they don't. They hear these superficial negative stories, and they don't look any further. It's like, oh, they saw a headline, so they don't even bother.
But I actually got a friend into Star Citizen yesterday. He actually
the free flies next week. Well, free flies next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was, but that's my problem, Juno, is what you're talking about there is that the mainstream media, that the people that are reporting on this, like, for example, like even games journos, for example, that the ones that are taking shots at Star Citizen, they're not even playing it themselves. They're just reading headlines from the Forbes article that was printed, and then just running with that story because it's clickbait. But it's not just Star Citizen that goes through and gets attacked. Let's face it, Cyberpunk 2077. It's had its fair share of arrows shot at as well. No Man's Sky has had its fair share. It's seemingly games that are ambitious, that have no real major, like you could probably argue that No Man's Sky had Sony, but they don't have any real big publishers to back them, that always seem to get shot at. And it's
the two narratives on those is that No Man's Sky promised everything and released too early.
Yeah.
and now, like, I don't play it, but like Cobra, you come from that, and you've been playing it before you came to Star Citizen, and what I hear about it is that over the past year, it became more like what they promised, and it's becoming there because they had 2 more years
exactly
to work on it. And what was the other one that you used as an example?
Elite Dangerous.
Sucker Punch 2077, I think.
Cyberpunk. So Cyberpunk has been in development the exact same amount of time as Star Citizen. It was announced in 2012, but then didn't hear anything about it for that intervening time. So people didn't think about it until recently, where they're starting to promote it in the past year. So it wasn't out there in front of people, and they weren't promising it coming out. And the changing scope, the expanding scope, and some people call it scope creep, of Star Citizen is that their expectations of what they were going to deliver and when, unfortunately, in the past, they were not very good at communicating it, and it's really the one weakness that CIG has is communications. That the Carrick fiasco yesterday was kind of an example of that. That they've gotten so good at development, and they've hit their stride. They're mature. They're extremely well and rolling like a well-oiled machine. And things will continue to change because it is game development. But like if you go back to almost every year in the past from 2017 prior, they set unrealistic expectations themselves, and unfortunately, that's what made it so easy for these medias, if they want to call themselves that, is to kind of latch onto these things like, oh, well, they promised 2014, they promised 2015, they promised 2016, and I deal with that with backers to this day that they've sunk thousands of dollars in, and they've lost patience, and I can't change their mindset. And some of these people are lost causes until in 2 years or so, when we have much more of what they're wanting, then they'll turn around. But like in 2016 was one of the biggest fiascos that everyone points to, the Gamescom presentation where Chris did one of these like he just did, but he actually had the slideshow of all these different features, and they were saying when they were going to come out, and they were going to be done by the end of 2017. Unfortunately, so now we're at 2019, and we have 2 years of the roadmap where they're delivering very, very consistently for 2 years now. So people that point to those previous years always say, it's like, look, they were still trying to figure everything out. Now they have. And it's amazing now.
Was it 2 years ago that was when they did the CitizenCon where you started up the game and it crashed on them right away?
That was
probably
that
3 years ago.
That was a couple of few different ones.
That's every Citizen.
Yeah, pretty much every CitizenCon M game chat. Well, that's why Chris said, it's like, oh my god, no crashes. Like this, I think this is probably the first one where they had no major problems.
Yeah.
So it's like,
the point,
like how good that everything went.
Oh,
this.
He basically said they were running server-side OCS in that gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that.
That was crazy. I was like, what?
Plus, they have a much bigger team, because I was actually the assistant to the event organizer last year. So this same event they had in Austin was the first time they did one at this scale, and I was the assistant volunteer to the lead organizer. So it was an incredible opportunity to see how they put this together, and the amount of people that are working behind the scenes to pull this off is it's mind-blowing. And they only have 2 days to set the whole thing up.
Yeah.
And can I ask you guys something? The Carrick, is it still going to have those blast shielding?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not functional when it releases. I think they're still working on that last.
Well, I mean, I noticed they changed the cockpit up. It looks different than it did in the pictures. So I didn't know whether they were still going to do the.
It's still planned. Tentative release now is February of next year. So we've got 4 months ahead of us for them to work through things, and when we get it, like with most ships, it's still going to have some bugs and things that don't work, and we're used to it, and that's fine. And the delay's fine too.
Yeah, ship delays are pretty much fine. It's more like
Yeah, the only thing that was
gameplay features that delay are pretty bad. So.
they had, well, and that's a subjective perception. These
Yeah.
things change, and I've been I was in like 10 different discords all day today, and with the different communities, from new backers to the highest level backers in the Jump Club, and the that's a very subjective thing. And there was a lot of people that were fine with the changes that we saw today, but then some people would come in and they were super pissed off at the theater of war. Was that what it was called? The theater?
Yeah, theater of war.
The big new game mode. Mm-hmm. It's like, how can they take resources off of development of the PU and Squadron 42 and come out with this new thing, and they're wasting resources and this and that, and yeah, the rest of us just take out our baseball bats on them, because like, all right, so.
Well, Sean literally answered that question. He literally said that there was very little resources that were taken.
Yeah, he basically emphasized on that it took.
Yeah, he preempted that.
And I'm so glad that they did, because that was key. But also to quantify that also is, and they probably had 2 or 3 devs that they've put onto this team, and they talked about it earlier this year, is so that the community's been complaining that Arena Commander and Star Marine, primarily Arena Commander, the dogfighting module has been so broken for so long, and a lot of that has driven a lot of the combat people into the PU and turned them into griefers, because they're just bored combat people. And they've been saying, it's like, you need to put some resources on fixing this. It's a pretty good sized part of the community. And they talked about earlier this year, well, we probably are going to put together a small team that just focuses on fixing Arena Commander and working on Star Marine. And so they did that. And they came out with the Good Doctor map for Star Marine, the last patch. And I have been having a blast playing on that. And I'm not a combat guy. And I get some non-competitive guys in there. We have a great time just shooting each other and laughing about it. And like you said, that same team, this is what they put together using existing resources, and having this lets them refine and balance a lot of these things that people complain about aren't working well in the PU, persistent universe, that they're working well, or they can build up to work well here, and that's usable in Squadron 42. So it's all very synergistic. And so Cobra, what was the thing that you were most excited about seeing today?
The weather, 100%. The weather and the planet and everything just blew my mind. I am interested on a couple of certain things that I didn't get a chance to see, and so I've got a lot of questions. Now, I heard Board Gamer talked something about a Battlefield-esque type of gameplay. What was that about?
So that was that theater of war. I don't know if you've looked at the electronic access part of when you go into the launcher. You can go into the persistent universe or electronic access, and what that is in lore in the universe, that's how people can practice combat.
Yeah, it's like the holodeck.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to have a hollow booth in our hangars. That's how we would access.
And you would actually step into this little like simulator, and then it would load you into electronic access. So that right now they have the Arena Commander, which has multiple game modes from just free flight to Vandal Swarm against the alien NPCs, or Pirate Swarm, the outlaw ships, or the Battle Royale dogfighting mode. And then they have the first-person shooter.
Right, which I've tried, the first-person shooter. I actually got a video coming out of it, just like a quick 20-minute video, kind of playing it. But yeah, so that's where this new battle mode's going to be in?
It is a whole combined arm. So they're spinning up a planet, and there's a low orbit space station, and there's a whole base, and it's going to be 20 versus 20 with on foot, multiple different weapon types, vehicles from the ballista missile launcher, the Cyclones, the Ursa, fighters, the Buccaneer fighter, the Hornet. So there's going to be all this combined arms battle between, and the story is these pirates in the system are hijacking a terraforming laser, and they're going and they turn it on to destroy this planet. And
Okay, so they're basically doing what Rexzilla has been doing for a while,
Yeah,
just making an actual game mode of it.
Exactly. So that you don't have to spawn and get in your ship and travel to a place and wait for 10 minutes to get across the star system. This is one where it's 3 clicks and you're in combat, and it's a 30-minute game mode with 3 phases. And
40 players.
Yeah, 40 players, 20 versus 20, combined arms. It's going to be spectacular, and they're going to be able to scale this up after they get it implemented, and once they have more players, I mean, they may have 100 versus 100, and they may have it across the solar system or between solar systems. He was saying, it's like, from a moon to a planet to another planet.
Basically interstellar.
Yeah, so it's something that's going to destroy Battlefield and PlanetSide.
Wow.
Do you guys see now why I am antsy to play this game?
Yeah.
Well,
I've been waiting 4 years for this.
As long as you're willing to wait for it, I mean, it's epic. It's
did you have
definitely
any
worth the wait.
Other questions about things you saw today, Cobra?
There's another question. The second question. I mean, there's probably questions that I need to ask that I'm not even aware of. So fill me in. But I don't know if anybody was able to catch the prison talk.
They didn't broadcast it, so it was on the second stage.
Basically, Star Citizen, when they do Citizen Cons, they do 2 rows, 2 panels at a time.
Okay.
One is broadcasted and one is not. And prison gameplay, ships was also not broadcast. So
it will be put up on their YouTube channel.
Everything
later,
will be on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So nobody knows what was said yet. I mean,
Not yet.
there's got to be people reporting on it somewhere.
I've got a couple people there that have seen it, but they're not home until tomorrow. I can get you in contact with them.
And somebody streamed a little video.
Live streamed it, yeah.
Yeah, a little video snippet of it. But it's going to be up on YouTube within the next couple of days, and all the panels that people missed are going to be on YouTube here over the next few days. And part 1 of the main presentation is on YouTube right now, so you could watch that. So the part that you missed, the first part of the mission, is already up.
Okay.
I actually have a question.
Watch it on there anyways because it's going to be in 1080 res anyway.
I actually have a question.
Sure.
He was saying persistence was coming, right?
3.8.
Summer, middle of next year.
Oh, I thought he said 3.8.
No,
or
not
3.9.
Server-side object container stream.
Yeah, 3.8 is the version 1 of server-side object container streaming. So that's really going to help with loading people's performance and the server load. They didn't say if we're going to have more players yet. And there's going to be persistence within the server. So like things like if the way I'm interpreting that
so it's not character persistence yet.
Correct. But then as far as persistence of things that you buy and your money you earn and things like that, they're looking for the middle of next year, so summer. So that might be the 4.0 patch, give or take, for persistence for all these things. So they're going to try not to wipe between patches. And then server meshing is hopefully by the end of next year, where they're going to be able to scale up to thousands to tens of thousands of players.
Oh my gosh, man!
What server side? Yeah, OCS is the base platform for everything that's he just talked about: persistence, server meshing, and etc.
But wait a second. Didn't they say that at the beginning of 3.8 or something?
Yeah. So hang on. So what I was going to say was they said full persistence was middle of next year.
Exactly.
Which I think is full persistent for everything. But he did say that platform persistence was coming with server-side OCS, and that should be money ships that you've brought in game.
Yeah, but between major patches, he said. So,
starting with 3.8, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's actually coming from 3.8. I'll have to rewatch
January, February.
Yeah, so the question is whether or not they're already showing that they don't want to wipe between patches. So like 3.7.1, 3.7.2 that's coming tomorrow. They 3.7.1 they tried desperately not to wipe your UEC and purchases, but they had some really bad database persistence backend issues, so they had to wipe. I think that they're not going to wipe tomorrow, and their intent is to not wipe between major patches 3.8 to 3.9. We don't know if they're going to be able to get past 3.9 without a wipe.
Wait. You said you're not going to wipe. What's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the Aerospace Expo, where all of the ships, and you should definitely get this out to your whole community, all of the ships are going on sale, and all of the ships are going to be free fly.
Aren't they starting with one manufacturer a day till the end of the week?
Correct. Each day will be one manufacturer.
And
tomorrow
is Anvil. Yeah, the host of the expo.
So all the limited ships that aren't for sale.
Last year it was like cumulative, so you'd have only Anvil tomorrow, but then you'd have Anvil and RSI the next day, Anvil, RSI, and Kruger the day after that.
I don't believe that it was.
I think that was the year before. That was the year before.
I wasn't involved in this game the year before, so I know it was last year.
Yeah, last year it was manufacturer every day, and then after that day, the manufacturer.
Yeah. I wasn't able to buy an Origin ship after Origin's Day until the end of the week.
Yeah, I was watching the Citizen stuff last year, and it was not cumulative.
No, it never has been. I just posted the excerpt of the schedule there in the Star Citizen Lounge chat, so that those are the days for each one, and then at the end they'll all be available.
Okay, all right.
So just to talk about server-side OCS and also the persistent with money and ships, I found the part on the keynote where Chris talks about it, right? And he said what they want to do is between wipes of major patches, they want to back up what you've saved on money and ships. Then they'll wipe the database, bring in the new patch, and then reload what they've backed up from you.
Yeah, that's for 3.8, right?
Carry it over.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So that sounds like that's from 3. That sounds like it's from now, sort of. From 3.8.
If they can do that at 3.8, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard.
That would be game changing, as it were.
I got several friends that literally don't get on Star Citizen just because of that.
No, you're right, 100% right. I know a lot of people that comment on my videos that they said they'll buy Star Citizen, they'll back it and start playing it once that gets fixed. Doing that would bring a lot of money into CIG.
That will change everything.
It would.
Everything. It goes from just being an alpha to really being a game.
Yeah.
Even though we're still in alpha.
Yeah, so they're calling it platform persistence, he's saying in the keynote.
Yeah, I've got to watch it again and take notes and really be diligent. It's hard to watch and talk in 6 or 7 different chats at the same time.
You just get starstruck trying to watch the video.
Yeah. Get mind blown every time.
How'd you guys like the ending?
The pyro? Oh my goodness.
Dude, like the jump system?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for years for that. I was literally almost tearing up.
This is the first time we've known this was coming for what has it been 7 years now, and this is the first chance we've had to see what it's going to be.
Well, they did actually show an early concept. I think it was 2014 or 15. I don't know if this game's gone.
We were talking about this before you hopped in.
Yeah, because I've saved this GIF and I use it all the time to show people, and it was very similar to what we have. So the early concepts, they've really tried to stay true to their vision, only through whatever technical adjustments that they end up making. Everything is very true to the original vision, and the jump points are amazing.
If I can jump in for a second, there were some questions in chat, like if there were planets and moons or whatnot. There have been planets and moons. There's actually, in this star system we're on, there's basically 3 planets and almost like 12 moons. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's about 20 in total.
And
4 planets.
we've been able to jump to each moon, each planet, get on ground vehicles, walk around, interact with.
For what, 6 months?
Yeah, for interact with objects on the ground, talk to NPCs, do missions. But
Yeah,
we
got the first full planet Christmas of
2014.
No, the first fully
2015.
the first fully explorable planet was last year. After
Hurston.
Citizen of last year, Hurston. We got the persistent universe. The first planet is a gas giant. We still can't actually go down to that until
Are we not counting
March.
the moon?
Which moon?
The one we go to that had Grim Hex around it.
Yeah, there's 11 or 12 moons that you can fly to any point on the moon and get out and walk around the entire surface of them, and they're generally anywhere from like
but what I'm saying is that was the
5 to
first planet we could
700.
actually land on. Hurston wasn't the first one.
It's an asteroid.
Not planets.
It's an
It was the
asteroid.
first planetoid. I'll put it that way.
It's a moon that's orbiting Crusader.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, what I was I was getting to is that what you saw in the last few minutes, Cobra was streaming the panel, the last keynote was that the Carrack, the big ship you saw, was jumping into what's called a jump point. Basically, what a jump point is basically a wormhole that makes your ships travel to another star system, in which this case is Pyro. And Pyro in itself has 3 planets and a couple of moons. And why this is such a big thing is that part of what Chris Roberts and Star Citizen is that we have 100 different star systems that players can jump into, and this first jump point is the bridge to that. And
The first new star system.
Exactly. And another awesome thing is that Stanton, the star system we're in, actually has 3 jump points. The first one we just saw today is Pyro. The second one is Terra, and the other one is Magnus. And now, when I say Terra, it doesn't mean planet Earth. It's just the second planet that the humans
settled.
Settled
Terra.
in after just leaving Earth. So
If you look at it, our system is called Sol. So.
Yeah, exactly, Sol. And
there is
by
a star map as well on the website if you want to explore these. I think they've cut it down to 99 systems that they want to do, but you can
only
go
99 for
look
now.
at them.
And this jump point is what leads to 100 system game, star system game, basically.
Yeah, I'm on a star map now.
And also, what's amazing about all of this is that they're not procedurally generated. Every single one of them has a story with a history,
lore,
and all the lore behind every one of these. Oh my God, the Galacta Pedia is out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
After you show the star map, you've got to show the Galacta Pedia. So if you click search there,
yeah, on the bottom right,
you can type in Stanton on the bottom right.
Oh yeah, I'm on Stanton.
Okay, great. I'm on the delay.
Yeah.
Galacta Pedia.
And if it's basically a Wikipedia for Star System, which the developers just made recently.
Yeah.
Which was
all of the lore about everything searchable in every different way, and it's tied to the star map, and you're going to be able to, and it's going to be. Is it viewable now in your MobiGlass or in 3.8?
They say it on the MobiGlass. I'm not sure.
I
it's
think
available
they said
now,
it is going to be
website.
in the MobiGlass in 3.8, which is going to be tremendous. So if you click one of there's a jump point there.
There's 3.
Click the jump point.
Yeah,
you
scroll
can
over to
double
one.
click it.
If you scroll
The north
over
or
to
southern
one.
Magus or Terra?
Click Terra.
Terra.
For now. Unless you want to go to Pyro. I think you may have to scroll out a little bit more. Pyro's in orbit. If you scroll in, Stanton Pyro jump point. We can follow today's jump
I
point.
see it. Yeah.
Let's go to the system that we jumped to today. So if you scroll in Not that one. The over there on the left side.
I'm in Pyro.
Oh, okay. I'm on the delay again.
So yep, here's Pyro. Wow, there's a lot here.
Yeah, and Pyro itself has another jump point leading to another star system, which
It
is
has
crazy.
5. It has 5 jump points from
crazy.
Pyro. So
well, and this is the thing: if they start with 100 when they fully release the game, they can at that point just sit back and just put out systems once a year, and eventually it'll get to a point where we have millions of different systems.
Well, it's actually not how it's going to happen. What we're probably going to get is we're going to start getting a couple of systems a year, and they're going to expand that. So next year we're going to get Pyro and probably Nyx, which is the next one beyond that, which is Delamar and Levski is really in the Nyx system. So that's 2 different star systems. We might get 1 or 2 more because they're speeding up that production process, and that would be not next year, but in 2021. We could get quite a few more star systems. What's the most important thing over the next 2 years is how much faster they start turning out star systems. So if they can start turning out 5 and then 10 and then 20, it's going to take a long time to get to 100 star systems at the level of detail that we have. They're not just generating these.
But
like most of it is generating. That's why they created a lot of the changes in the servers, and most of the planets are generated.
They're procedurally assisted, and I've been meaning to make a video of how this is actually done, because they've had various presentations over the years of how this is done. So literally, an artist, they'll generate the system so they can have a generic planet in there, but then the artist will actually go to that, and there was actually a panel on that earlier today.
Planetary Tech V4.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
What they did?
They weren't really showing all of the procedural artistic tools. So, an artist is literally hand brushing.
Entire freaking system.
Yeah, like over 100 kilometers, they might brush in, like, adjust height maps and forests and various biomes. And
what's crazy,
yeah. So what's very different about Star Citizen is that it is procedurally assisted, artist created, as opposed to all the other games out there that are procedurally generated.
Yeah, but on
really dangerous being
planetary.
Yeah.
But don't forget, Stanton's system alone was not procedurally generated. They did that stuff all by hand, slowly, the slow way. I mean, they just got procedural generation within the last 6 months.
Well,
yeah,
no.
6 months.
They actually showed this tech in 2016 with Lyria and the Sandworm. There was a little snippet during that presentation, and they were showing the early iterations of this tool. And so the thing that a lot of people don't really grasp behind the scenes, and is part of what's taking so long, and when you watch that Planet Tech version 4, they show how it was before and how it is now, and the differences in how they were making planets in version 3. And that doesn't even go back to version 2 and version 1. So they're literally building in-house the tools and the technology to build all of these things in the way that they have to do at the level of detail, because this is centimeter scale detail.
And to add, they've made all the planets, moons, and systems we have right now to planetary V4 in just 2 months, is what they said on the panel.
Yeah. Something I heard that really piqued my interest is when he was talking about Microtech, he was talking about how they made it, and he said, and something to the effect of this goes for all the other planets so far in the game. So it sounded like he's talking about how all the other planets are even going to be improved more than what they are now.
Yes.
Yeah, so every time, it's like a cadence. Every time they pull out a planet, make a star or moon, it just gets faster and faster and faster.
So Microtech has,
before they have that experience.
So as I was going to say, Microtech has version 4 for the planetoids. The rest of them don't at the moment. They're going to go back and they're going to work on those ones and put them out probably later. So
they said that they had already done.
3.9.
They said
Yeah.
they had already done that for 3.8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
why
did
it
it in
took
2 months.
2 months to make.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that just on Microtech.
No, that's why they pushed the moons out, because they had all their artists go back and redo every. I mean, they showed Yella looking completely different. So they showed a bunch of the moons. I mean, they look so
Okay,
different
cool.
now.
Yeah.
And it's like
Is there a link to that?
Mind blowing. It's not up yet. I actually just refreshed the Star Citizen YouTube page, and it's not up yet.
Okay, all right.
Soon.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see that. You know that this just sucks working night shift and you have to sleep during the day.
Prison one.
Can I just say this? I have been watching the development of this since roughly 2015, 2016. That's when I first found out about it. And the amount they've done just in that amount of time is amazing. I mean, the detail level is amazing. They've worked really hard on the bugs. You don't drop as often as you used to. So,
yeah, every patch gets
CIG,
better.
Great job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because originally, like someone else, I think, John, you brought it up. It wasn't the original vision of Star Citizen was completely different than what they have now. So they had to start over basically and use new tech to achieve new goals and that's what, the direction we're heading to now.
What's an interesting part of the story that a lot of your viewers may not be aware of is that I think it was 2013 or 14 that Crytek was having a lot of financial problems, and they weren't paying their staffs, and a lot of people were leaving. And Star Citizen, using the newest version of the Crytek CryEngine, there was a whole group of developers that were instrumental in building the CryEngine itself, and some really high-level devs there. CIG hired them all in masse. There was like a dozen of them, including Brian Chambers and a couple of the other really high-level guys. And they were in Frankfurt. So they said, we're going to build a studio in Frankfurt for you guys because we want you guys. And that's what started the entire Frankfurt studio, which is now over 100 people. And they were able to modify the CryEngine. And I think you watched the Digital Foundry video came out a couple of weeks ago, Cobra. And did you?
Yeah.
So he was talking about one of the huge milestones that allowed them to do what they're doing was the conversion to the 64-bit floating point processing to allow this from centimeter scale to millions of kilometers. That was because of them bringing in the Crytek team. So they were able to rewrite the engine internally, and then it was like a private project in 2014. One of the guys there asked Brian Chambers, the studio head, it's like, I think I can build procedural planets. And this was like before everybody else was doing it. And so he worked on this on the side and showed Brian Chambers, and he started on this planet and he zoomed out, from looking at a person on this planet, and then like literally zoomed slowly out until he was in orbit, and like blew everybody's minds. And that moment, that side project for this one guy changed the entire development direction and the entire everything about this project, because before it was going to be a space game where it much more like Elite Dangerous, where you're flying around in space and you might touch down on a planet someday at a little landing zone and there's not really that much there, mostly going to be in space. And that development led to what we saw today, is the most incredible visual fidelity of these fully life scale planets. That they're actually 1/10 scale planets, but they're 7.5 to 8 million square kilometers of land at centimeter level detail. It is just, it's so incredible with no loading screens. And so
it takes a long time to do too. That's another thing a lot of people don't seem to understand, is stuff like this takes years to develop properly.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing different from everybody else. All the other game companies out there, they'll pick an off-the-shelf game engine like Unreal or Unity or whatever, and they'll start working with it to build their game.
And they already have
And
the money and the people to do it.
yeah, whereas CIG is literally
We're
rebuilding the game
hiring
engine.
even now.
But there's
They're inventing things as they go. I mean, things have never been
all of this
done.
tech is so completely unique, and there are over 600 people now. They started with 6, so they didn't even have a game studio when they started. And initially, they were going to outsource a lot of the
sorry about that,
a lot of the game, so that they could build it faster. And that's why when they kickstarted it, they thought, okay, well, we should be able to turn this out if we hire this company to do our FPS module. We hire this other company to do these other things. We'll tie it all together, and we should be able to come out with it in 2 years if we raise $6 million.
Yeah, if anyone wants to watch the early gameplay of what used to be Star Citizen, I'll put it in the links into the chat. Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
Give
it a watch.
Some of that early gameplay, and I'm sitting here going, I'm so glad I wasn't able to get it till now.
So
because
he said something very interesting when he was right here in the video. You'll see it here in a few seconds when he's flying over the city on Microtech. He said you could land anywhere right there, and you can just kind of like wander around. And
Love
then
that.
he brought
I
up
do
ArtCorp is so. I kind of got lost when I was looking at the pretty pictures and colors and stuff like that, so I kind of didn't hear what he said about ArtCorp. What was he saying about ArtCorp? Are we going to have more places to land on ArtCorp coming up?
Yes, but not more places to really get out and walk around very much, like the actual Area 18. But they are going to give us more places that are not off limits to land. Like if you see, I think what they were saying is if you see a building, you can go over there and land on it at various levels. They're going to reduce the need for the no-fly zone.
Okay,
which
that's good.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, one
That's
thing
amazing.
players are doing is trying to get under the no-fly zone and try to take screenshots of their ships in between skyscrapers and all the night lights. It's just crazy.
Come on, you've
Yeah, I
never
was gonna
thought about actually jumping into like a race ship or something and just go flying between the buildings really super fast?
Yeah, one thing some friends and I do is go to Area 18, find a nice. There's some skyscrapers inside a box, and then we use that as a way to practice evading buildings while dogfighting. It's really, really cool to do that, but it sucks that they have to put this red net of do not go there signs.
I think it was all more because of the griefers, is what it was.
Yeah,
I think they were
it's
just
only
trying
temporary.
to prevent griefers.
Yeah.
It's only
So,
temporary.
I think-
They're phasing out the no-fly zone, so I would suspect that Hurston will probably have a no-fly zone area drop. At the moment, it's at 3,000. That will probably drop down to something like 300, probably.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But with the decrease of the no-fly zone, which will also be consequences for flying to an area that you shouldn't be into, and you can catch a crime stat for that city. They will be doing.
if I may, there's one thing I'd like to see them do, and they may do, hopefully. I'd like to see a planet similar to ArtCorp, but instead of being, an actual city, being more of a ruins. I'd love to see some combat through that. That I think would be
that's coming.
Cool. Really?
Have you seen the old concept art of all of the other planets and
locations?
Oh yes.
To the development.
I'll drop that into the Discord. I gave that to Cobra the other day, and it really gives you an idea of the sense of scale of what is to come, and the variety. And that's what's really so unique is that there's such a huge variety of all of these landing zones. Every place is going to be unique because they're being handcrafted.
Right.
I think we'll see a glimpse of what you just said about the destroyed city in Squadron 42. Like in the trailer, there's a moment where Gary Oldman is looking over a burning city and destroyed buildings.
That's Vega. That's one jump from Pyro, and that's on the. It was on the Vanduul border, but has since fallen into Vanduul space. So I just dropped into the chat. There's over, I think there's close to 400 images in that link there.
So something else you missed that's right up your alley, Cobra, is the section from the second stage that they showed during intermission for the alien language.
Oh yeah, xenolinguistics.
Oh yeah, the alien language. They talked about that some more.
Oh yeah, they just announced the
They had a
Banu
whole-
language.
They had a whole panel on it, which is like
it was crazy.
Some people love that. I can't get into it. I wish that they'd put that on the second stage and they put the ship discussion on the main stage.
Oh yeah, that's
because
true.
like that's
Not
what the
many
majority
people like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the majority of the community wanted to see the part about the Carrack, and it was
Yeah.
on the other stage. The Carrack, the greatest ship ever.
By the way, Cobra, do you?
Too, because that was actually on the second stage. They just brought it up because it was intermission.
Yeah, they had an hour or so between them.
But,
They were supposed to show the prison one, and they went to the language one, and
yeah.
Who was
Cobra,
getting ready to
I
ask me a
know-
question?
Yeah, Erebus. Have you read up on the lore behind the aliens that we know of?
I've
so
just
far?
started. I've been trying to find some audio versions of it. Well, videos that I could listen to while I'm at work because I need both of my hands while I'm at work.
Have you used have you watched the Lore Makers? Guide to
Yeah,
the
I've been
Galaxies?
listening to the entire playlist.
Okay,
That's what
okay, good.
That's where I'm starting. I know there's a lot more.
Start with those, yeah, and then start. And if you go to a channel called Astropop, he does lore. Like he's focused on lore, and he talks a lot about the lore of what you
Yeah, he-
hear on YouTube too. So
yeah, he does
just give him-
a pretty good job. You might want to take a look now at the Galacta Pedia because this was just released today, and this is something that we've been waiting for years for. It's all this encyclopedia of all of the lore, beautifully categorized and searchable, and anything you want to know by topic. It's been so hard to find this information that everybody has to go to third-party websites,
Right,
and
exactly.
wikis that have been created.
And I'm trying to learn a lot about the lore because what I want to start as soon as we get moved into the new place, what I want to start doing is a role play radio show once a week where you could just turn it on and play Star Citizen and listen to a person broadcasting, say, from Levski, and that he's talking about. It's pretty much just teaching people about the lore, talking about the lore in character of the lore. Radio station in Stanton.
I just dropped a link to the Galactapedia into your Discord, the Star Citizen Lounge.
Very good, awesome. Thank you so
I'll
much.
tell you something that I am really kind of excited for, and if somebody doesn't do it, I'll do it my dang self. But I can't wait to find like an underground fight club now. They're gonna have melee fighting, fist fighting.
yes.
You know, there's gonna be a fight club, but we can't talk about that.
You know,
Right.
I've
We can't
been-
talk about that, man. It's the first rule. Second rule.
I've been thinking of. I think the best arena for that is the Constellation because the cargo area is like below this like stage. It's like a stage basically, cargo area, and above it you've got like ramps around it. And
But what would actually be better than one of the underground bunkers for an underground fight club?
Not enough space, I think.
Well, I
like
was
one in a
gonna say-
cage. Yeah, no.
There's rumors that Levski is going to have a fight club like a club-like area. So I think there's something actually in the lore where Levski actually has these sort of like fight areas. So people are suspecting that Levski is going to get a little bit of an upgrade and put those in there. And
Talking about fighting.
Suspending a constellation over an orbit or in orbit of a planet, so if you get knocked out, you fall off and die.
I just
what
wanted
did you
to have
guys?
like a fight club, no guns, no weapons, just fists, and just have a good old-fashioned fight club. Hell,
That's
I'll even
right.
make my character look like me.
What did you guys think of the takedown of the last panel?
It was a takedown.
Oh yeah, when he snuck up behind him and
Yeah,
did the silent date takedown, that was really awesome.
Yeah.
gotta admit.
Somebody was talking about a Microtech presentation that I guess is different than the one that I seen because they talked about multiple biomes
That was the presentation on the Planet Tech version 4. So the beginning of that was going over Microtech, and they use Microtech as the primary example of the new technology of building these biomes and how much they changed the tech. You know how when you're flying from you're up in orbit over Hurston, say, and you start flying down towards the planet, and the colors change and shift, and then as you get closer, different, and it continues to change, and then things start to pop in, and it's a little immersion breaking.
Right.
They have solved that. It now looks just like Google Earth, and he used Google Earth as an example, and they've been studying how Earth looks from orbit and zooming in at every level as you're getting closer, and it's crazy. And it's amazing.
That's amazing. What kind of biomes does Microtech have other than the one that I've seen so far?
It's got not dense, but has snow mountains, but also has like lots of pine trees, like a bit of trees, but mostly ice and snow.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some areas that don't have snow. I'm actually
it's all grass. Yeah,
I'm posting a screenshot into the channel. I grabbed some screenshots today.
Okay.
It's pretty beautiful.
Let's see.
And they also have frozen oceans too, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Yeah, we saw that today, actually. Yeah.
Y'all have a good day now.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye, buddy. Be safe. Oh, we got Hidden Jew in the chat. What's up, buddy? Good friend of mine. He actually has a band, and he goes on tour quite a bit, and they came through my state, and I went to go see him play, and it was an amazing experience. So big shout out to you, buddy. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, popped a couple of images there.
Have you all seen
what channel?
The new
the Star Citizen.
Okay,
gotcha. Data they've done with the trading.
Oh, the last one there is a beautiful one.
Yeah, really good pictures.
Holla!
Mary Lizzie, what is going on? How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Really, really great.
Been having fun watching?
Oh, yeah. Have you?
I've been watching off and on all day. Oh, that cat of yours.
That's not mine this time.
Oh.
No, I was going to say, that looked like it was Dev's.
Yeah,
How are
I'm
you
not
doing?
looking at all the names. I'm on my phone because I don't have my PC on right now. But I'm liking the... Oh, here. Is this what you were talking about? They're showing the grassland.
Yeah, a bunch of the other biomes that we saw earlier today.
But is that Microtech itself, or is that like
the moon? These are all various biomes on Microtech.
Wow.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. It's freaking beautiful.
Oh!
I can't wait till we get the rainforest planet, but yeah, it is great to actually see like grass and green, because it's all been gray this whole entire time. It's good to see some actual like greenage and some grass and trees.
Look at that.
This is like Colorado, and this is the first place I'm going.
Oh man, I'm gonna spend hours on this planet.
Oh,
I'm sorry for the videos that are gonna be coming out, but this is gonna be, dude. All right,
Man,
Hurston, I love you. I love Hurston, and I
goodbye,
made that
Hurston.
my home. But it looks like
Goodbye.
I'm gonna be moving in the game too, as in the same as real life. I'm moving to Microtech.
Well, that's the interesting. So that's the interesting thing that they were talking about today. Was they said that there's a space station. Obviously, they're going to put all the space stations above the major planets.
Finally.
Yes, finally. So, and they have habs, so you can spawn there. But also, they were saying today that they're planning on making it so that when you spawn into Star Citizen, you can choose, instead of being Port Alizar, you can spawn at Microtech or Stanton.
Yeah,
or
I heard that
or-
too. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's gonna be so great. It really is.
And the fact we got habs in the spaceports, in the
Yeah.
cities, in
Yeah.
the stations.
Yeah.
Eventually,
So
you'll
you
have your
can-
assigned apartment, but right now, but this is awesome that it says taking that step towards that.
Yeah, our org leader is a Canadian. He dubbed the planet Canada, and then Planeta.
Yeah. so there's not going to be very many spots that aren't snow and ice covered, but Oh man, everybody's gonna be heading to those. I also like the really epic mountains on the last picture that I dropped in there. Like it's like the Tetons in Wyoming, like really rugged snowy mountains.
What I took from those images, or what the panel is from, I don't think. I guess Hurston is one where it has 2 different biomes, where it's semi-desert.
There's 5, yeah.
And then one's just grass, and then there's water. I think I don't know if everyone new to Star Citizen knows this, is that most of the planets we had were just one type of planetary environment, which is like deserty or just grassy.
And that's because they're all moons. And all of us have always they feel like planets because they're so huge compared to anything else in our history, and I've had to fight that urge to call them planets for the past many years.
But the thing is, every time they make a new biome, they make a small bridge in creating Earth or multi biome planets.
Because they're just making assets that they can use on other planets, and it's just expanding what they have to use.
Yeah.
Which will just speed everything up, because eventually they're going to have all the biomes they need, and then they'll just be able to crank them out like a...
Oh, and by the way, Cobra, did you see the tarp? When they pulled the tarp?
Yes!
Oh god.
Yes, I seen it!
Oh my god. That last, I think 2 years ago? Was it? Tarp Tech? Yeah.
Tarp.
There was a whole panel about it.
It's actually soft body physics, so it's a new tech for all cloth. So all clothing is going to have that same tech.
Man, can you imagine how stressful it is to work for Chris Roberts? Chris Roberts comes and he says, let's make some. I want a tarp over this, and someone goes, okay, yeah, I'll get in there and I'll draw something up right now. I'm like, no. I wanted to pull it off. The animator goes, okay, I can make an animation for no. I want him to grab it and walk backwards, pull it off, and blow away in the wind. Real wind, not fake wind.
And what this tech is so good for is for clothing, basically.
Have you actually seen that from the original presentation of this?
I haven't.
Hang on.
We watched them a few years ago with the cloaks and the flags.
Yep.
There's been a lot of developers flip Chris Roberts off when he's turned his back.
I can imagine.
I'm just saying. I know I probably would.
The original tech looked janky.
See if I can find this GIF.
A cool thing about the tarp tech, it's not restricted just to the tarp. Like, if you saw the first part of the keynote, the player or whoever was manning the main character actually puts on a lab coat. The lab coat is so smooth on his body; it was crazy.
Yeah.
It picked it up and it actually dropped from the physics and everything. It was completely physical.
Picked it up like real cloth.
Yeah, it's also got like flags and jackets and.
So, like,
but the tarp alone wasn't even just that. It not only just showed the cloth, but it also showed the weather system too. How it was building up on the tarp, and it was wet. It had beads of water coming off of it.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh my God! When he put the armor on and it was
frost
and ice all over the armor and stuff. Oh man!
I mean, how can you get a group of people so excited about tarps?
Exactly.
We are nerds.
Well, I was going to say, did you ever see the presentation where they were talking about mining and they were going sounds of the rocks as they were exploding? They literally did like an hour-long presentation on Star Citizen Live about mining and exploding rocks. And it's a meme. It really, really is. But it's like, listen to that rock explode! Yeah. And it's like, okay, it sounds cool, but it's like exploding rock.
Has anyone else seen the Prison Break video?
No.
Nobody's seen it yet. It's not up on YouTube.
Broadcasted.
I found it on YouTube, or somebody in my org found it on YouTube.
That was probably like a live.
That's somebody broadcasted. Yeah, that was there. So it's really poor quality.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll wait for Star Citizen to drop. Yeah.
Do you guys remember the part where they were going through the gate? I really wanted them to just like pull out a lightsaber and just like open it.
Oh, come on.
I agree. You know, and I know it's like a copyright issue, you know, but there's many ways you can get around it. I mean, come on, like maybe it's not a lightsaber per se, but a laser that goes from one end to the next, and it's just a long pull. You know what I mean? It looks like a lightsaber, feels like a lightsaber, but technically not. You know, I mean, come on, we got to have something.
Well, we're not going to get much of that weaponry like that.
Did anybody else get a Stargate kind of feel when they did the jump?
Yep.
That's what I was just getting ready
I
to
was
ask. Is that
thinking
what
about
they're doing?
Andromeda.
What's on the screen? That round thing? Is that the jump thing?
That's a
The
jump gate.
point, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah, he's about to do the jump on that video.
So that's a
Totally
well-charted and established one. Like you're going to find ones without that.
Have you guys also seen the trading system that they implemented?
Oh yeah,
with
the quantum map.
Yeah, that looks so.
I saw a little bit of the quantum thing.
Like that is just incredible tech.
Yeah, that was really impressive.
So are we getting another system?
Next year.
Pyro.
It's
Oh,
what
next
it
year.
makes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're getting microtech in a few months, right?
Oh,
Couple
gosh,
months.
we
Couple
really
months.
gotta do a
We're
countdown on that.
Getting
Getting it
externals.
next month.
Oh, yeah. Trust me.
Christmas.
That's what I want is externals. I want them.
What is it, like
I want to walk
microtech?
around on that planet. You know, that's fine.
Cobra.
Yes.
Microtech 3.8.
Collab, walk around the planet.
Yes, we will walk around the planet.
Thank you.
New Babbage.
Me and Mary Lizzie are going to prop up on top of a mountain, sit down, and just enjoy a sunset.
Okay.
Well, he was watching my
Sounds-
Star Citizen stream last night, and I'm like, Cobra, when he told me about Microtech, I said, we're going to do a walk around. He goes, yes, we are. I'm just getting that confirmation on air on his stream now.
I promise. We're going to do that walk.
You need a picnic basket, a blanket, a bottle of wine.
We'll use a tarp for our blanket. We'll have to sit on it or the window blow it away.
And I know this is a stupid question, but does it have breathable air?
Yes.
It does.
No helmet.
It does? Oh yeah.
It is super cold though, so you really can't go outside except maybe in those those non-snowy areas,
Right.
without a protective suit.
Didn't they say in the storm that you would only last about maybe 5 minutes at most?
Yeah, if you didn't
3
have
minutes in
the
a storm. It was minus 128 Celsius.
Yeah, that was without the specialized armor. But there might be some planets where it's so hostile that even in specialized
Oh, when he
armor,
put the
you're
helmet
still
on and his hands were shaking.
Yeah, that was very cool.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
Jake Fields just said in chat, Cobra, you'll have to be quick about it when enjoying. Even with armor, you can freeze. And
Well,
get
we'll take a
hypothermia.
rover out there.
Yeah,
but that's only when there's a storm. Like for example, if he goes exploring when there's no storm, he can be up there all day.
But isn't space colder than?
With that heavy-duty armor, I think you can stay out there for a hell of a long time. It's just maybe no power to the armor or something. Or the
I think it's just the temperature of the outside versus what the armor that you're wearing, because like you're also going to be in situations where there's going to be extensive heat. They did mention that, and you're going to need a different kind of armor to deal with that has a cooling feature to be able to be in those extensive heat places.
Cobra, I found a GIF of I made some GIFs of the soft body cloth from last year's presentation. Just dropped one into the Star Citizen Lounge.
All right, let me take a look.
Cobra, Dice Gundam says that he can chaperone us in his Karak.
Say that again?
Dice Gundam in chat says, I can chaperone you two in my Karak.
Well, not until February he can't. So if anybody,
Until February, right?
So if anybody has missed it, the Carrack has been delayed until February. It's still coming in 3.8, but it's going to be like a 3.8.2.
Maybe he meant carrot.
From a hammerhead.
But the Pisces will be available in 3 days.
Pisces
Wow.
Expedition.
You see,
And it
this
comes
tarp
in
thing
two
that I'm
fully
looking at.
Isn't that tomorrow?
Yeah,
I
isn't
think
Aegis
that's
Day
tomorrow?
tomorrow?
No, it's Anvil. Tomorrow's Anvil,
Oh, yeah,
and that's the Pisces.
They said it will be flyable in 3 days.
Well, wait, did they just
you can-
drop something?
You can buy it tomorrow though.
Oh, or is that the tarp?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
the
the
Pisces,
tarp
the small.
That's a soft body.
the Pisces is a snub ship for the Carrack.
Well, technically not snub because it's got quantum
How'd they
engine
do
drive.
that?
This is the new tech.
Oh
they're
my gosh,
developing.
look at that code.
This is why the game is taking so long. Is they're having. to
I know
invent
they're
their
not
own
taking
stuff.
any shortcuts. You know, like these people, they got to be on some
Next
kind of
level.
like anti-anxiety medicine working for Chris Roberts. You know, because when he comes up with an idea, it's not as easy as it sounds like it's going to be.
Not when they have to create their own tech for it.
They're sitting down at a computer with Chris Roberts walking around behind them with a shotgun.
Yeah, I'd give anything more.
Yeah.
Chris Roberts.
Staple their foreheads if they're not awake.
Wonder how much coffee them guys drink.
How are those snowstorms coming? They better be coming quickly.
You should be able to actually make those full screen. If you click the GIF, the link, and it'll open up, and you can make it full screen, so you can really see that better. The comparison between the current tech that we have and the new tech.
Anyone else get the goodie bag?
Oh, I
Yes.
would have if
I
they
did.
did reveal what the armor was earlier.
The armors, yeah,
Yeah.
It's going to be
But
the specific,
The armor they used for the weather thing.
Yeah, it's like a
I'm
specific
glad I
skin
bought
for
it.
I usually,
Yeah,
you can get it in game, but it's
yeah,
just
I usually
like a
don't
special.
buy stuff that they don't reveal. 'Cause
Yeah, but here's the
sometimes-
thing: they never disappoint. No matter what, CIG
Nah.
never disappoints.
Agreed.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I'd say 2.0 was a bit.
I haven't yet. Maybe you guys have, because like I've said in the past, I know you guys have been through a lot. I backed it in 2015, but I didn't really pay attention or play it. So I wasn't led down all the things that you guys have been through. So I never tried to downplay the things that you guys went through, right?
Well, I mean, like, coming from a time when the only thing we had was a trailer of a Squadron 42, and then seeing the hangar module released, and then Arena Commander, and then just the game has come
Right.
such a long way.
Well,
But
yeah.
from what I've experienced so far, coming into it just, 2 months ago, like really starting to play it, I have not been let down.
And I gotta say, I love those videos. By the way, I just
Thank
gotta
you.
say that I loved them. I was hooked. I loved watching you come in and go through Star Citizen with a fresh pair of eyes, you know, and being amazed by everything. I love those videos.
That's what sold me. Is I had never heard of Star Citizen until I saw Cobra's videos up, and by that second video, I was hounding my husband. And still, I try not to complain about crashes or anything like that because I know what he's going to say.
Now, the
I
reason
told
why
him
I
so.
say that you're never disappointed is because I came in at 3.0, and from 3.0 to here, I literally every time I've never been disappointed.
I
was sort of
came in at
joking,
2.0 when they first introduced the persistent universe, and all we had was the stations around Crusader. So we had Port Olisar, we had Korea Station, and Kovalik Station, and that's all we had. We couldn't. We had the ICC mission. So there was one other station we don't have. Oh my God, Port Tessa. We missed Tessa. Yeah, so we didn't even have any moons we could go down to, and now it's just.
I just remember before. Oh, I'm sorry.
But see, that's why you have such a big appreciation for this game, is because you've watched it from the early place. Now you see stuff like what they just showed today, with Microtech and Pyro and the weather.
And part of my job, and I've made it my full-time job for the past 3 years, is to literally follow everything with the microscope every day, 18 hours a day. And I'm constantly analyzing everything and talking with people in all the communities, and there's so much to understand about the project. I mean, it's literally a full-time job.
See, my goal.
It's hard to understand.
My goal for Star Citizen and what I'm trying to do, and I talked about this, I think, on a private video, is to be a witness for Star Citizen. To try and reach out to people that are confused about what it is, confused about it being a scam or not. Now, when I first started getting into it, and I like Death Messenger, I believe he was in the chat there earlier when I was starting to get tagged with Derek Smart at first on Twitter. And because I was excited, I went to Twitter and I said in my private video, like, I played this game and I was really typecast into No Man's Sky, and I'm like, what do I do? what do I do with this excitement that I have? I need to show people this. And one of the things I said on Twitter was, yes, and I've realized how wrong I was since then, and Death Messenger helped me. But I said, yes, they probably are making more money while it's in development than they are just releasing it, but it's an amazing game. And it's an amazing thing being done. And then Death Messenger contacted me and started sharing links and started educating me. And that by far, that was not, it was not a put down on Star Citizen, right? I was still excited about it, but I learned that wasn't the case.
Perception.
Yeah, I learned that's the immediate perception of Star Citizen because of other people out there like Derek Smart and things like that. So one of my mission is to be a witness of Star Citizen, to show people what you could do if you paid $45 in the game. And that's what my videos are trying to do, is show people gameplay with very little edits. I'm starting to edit some now, like edit out the quantum travel if I don't have anything to say, stuff like that. But
or eject yourself again.
Yeah. Somebody told me to get up and walk around, and I somehow just thought that I was still in my freelancer, but I was in a Hornet. So I pushed Y, and Erebus had to come save me. But
that's what we all have gravitated towards to you, because you bring that fresh, open eyes of just somebody discovering it and enjoying it.
6
and
years.
a lot of the old backers are they feel refreshed when they watch you. It's like re-experiencing those things that they don't even think about. They don't even think about when you we all had that first shared experience of walking up onto a landing pad at Port Olisar and looking up and seeing the rings and seeing Crusader, and it's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
We've all had those moments, Cobra, so don't worry. Because when I started, there used to be head bobbing movement from like when your ship moves. I think they removed that entirely. But when I first started, people were recommending me go to Arena Commander first, learn how to fly, and then go to the pier. So I was like, okay. I got in, started the game, went in Arena Commander. I lifted off from the landing pad or whatever it was, and I started flying around. And for some reason, my character head was bobbing around, but I didn't really know how to turn it off, or if I was able to turn it off. And I just kept starting flying for 5 minutes, and then I got like seasick basically. So I had to lie on my bed for at least 20 minutes because I got so sick from watching my head bob around the screen. And I was like, I told my org mates for the first time, I was like, I'll be there like 20-30 minutes. I gotta rest. That's my first
Kenny
noob
G in
moment.
chat. He does not have an organization yet. I am working on that. I would like to have it called the Brown Coats, but give me some more time. Let me work on Cobra.
There's already a pretty large Brown Coats organization. I think.
Oh wow! I want to thank Extreme Tuber for donating to Super Chat. He says, "Was absolutely blown away today. Happy Microtech. Love all of your space videos. Too formal." Question mark. I love your videos. You actually replied to my comments because I got in early enough, and that is something really amazing to me. Thank you so much, Extreme Tuber. I try to reply to everybody. There is like sometimes if I'm asleep and there's too many comments that come, I try to catch that to them when I'm on my lunch break at work, stuff like that. But thank you so much, Extreme Tuber.
Chime in what, Rain? Sorry,
I am going to be starting an org. I don't know how to do that just yet.
I still think you need to make Cobra TV and have it like be an actual TV show in verse.
Oh yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to head out. I've got to make my rounds around the community. There's so much going on today. It's the biggest hype day of the year. It was great.
And it's not over.
To chat with y'all. It's not. It's only 6:30 here Eastern time, and there's so much going on. I'm so glad you got to experience this, Cobra.
Thank you, buddy, and thank you so much for being on the show, man. You are a good friend. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Talk to y'all later.
Okay, bye, buddy.
I do have to say, no matter what, I have to say that. Okay, see if I don't want to upset anybody. The Star Citizen community was portrayed to me as being less than helpful. And I'm coming from the No Man's Sky community, where everybody just helps everybody. But I've not experienced any of the non-helping in-game. Everybody has been super helpful. Tom Trustworthy took me into Arena Commander, helped teach me how to fly. Joe Run has helped by getting me larger screenshots of the keybinds because I have bad eyesight. It's just, people have come and picked me up when I have somehow glitched out of my ship.
I'm an original Kickstarter backer. I backed the game November 19th, 2012. I've been with the game that long. And I've noticed from day one that the community's been absolutely astounding.
The way I've generally seen it is
absolutely amazing.
If you're coming into the community and looking in from the outside, you get see the Star Citizen, I guess, fanboys arguing with the people that are against it, and then when you get past that, you get to the actual community.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like this crust that the negative the backlash people, like, they cover the community and like hide it from people. Once you break through to that, you get to the real part, just like you just said, the real part of the community, the community that's flooded this channel, that has helped me learn, that does not make fun of me when I make mistakes. They don't tell me get good, when I'm doing something bad. And when I mess up live in the game, somebody comes and helps me. They rescue me. I had Airbus, DevWolf. They came to rescue me several times, and just an amazing community and a bunch of intelligent people, artists, musicians, machinima creators, lore writers, just amazing people. And that's something that I want to definitely start diving into once I get moved, is focusing on the community and giving some of those voices a platform.
How long have you been with Star Citizen, Cobra, if I can ask?
Well, to be honest, I backed it in 2015, but never played it until I think I tried to play it in 2017 or 2018, and it didn't work out too well because my computer couldn't run it. So 2 months ago, I decided to play it on our new PC, and it worked, and I've been blown away. So I guess you could say backed it in 2015. I've only played it for 2.5 months.
Now, can I ask, are you a keyboard mouse or are you a joystick?
I keyboard mouse for right now. Why?
Gotta go HOTAS.
I actually went and got the Thrustmaster. They're like $130. That's the dual sim duos. So it's dual stick. They work amazing, and I use Game Glass. For anyone, Lizzie, you were talking about your eyes. You needed help with because of your eyes.
Yeah.
Game Glass works great for that.
I just saw that. I was watching Board Gamer, and he had a link to it, and I'm looking at that because I usually use my iPad next to me for my second screen to keep an eye on my chat. I only play when I stream. I also have severe arthritis, so I am limited to the amount of time I can play, and I like chatting with everybody. I have a HOTAS. I have the Flight Master, but I cannot get it to update, and I can't get my PC to recognize it. It's got the shifter and the stick.
Maybe maybe the cable's busted.
It's fresh out of the box, but I'll check that.
I can't afford the dual stick. People are telling me to get the dual stick. I can't afford it just now, but I will.
I'll send you mine. You just figure out how to fix it.
As a mouse and keyboard user, I'm just saying it's completely fine that you have a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's how you want to play. That's how you want to play. I mean,
I use mouse and keyboard too. Like, to be honest, yes, joysticks are great, but this constant argument, you gotta play with joystick. No, you don't. You can play with mouse and keyboard.
I was mostly just poking fun. I wasn't trying to insinuate that there was a specific way to play.
No. I didn't think that at all. No, I didn't take it that way. But I do want that. I think it would make it feel more immersive if you had like a joystick, two joysticks flying the ship. Dude, that would be awesome.
I
Now-
actually run dual joysticks, and I run 3 tablets with game glasses on them, and each one's got the different shards on it all the way around. I very, very rarely ever touch my keyboard.
I bounce between like FPS and ship combat too much, really.
I never do FPS though. I'm a pilot.
David,
Can we talk about
Anomaly, you're in the wrong chat, buddy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you want me to?
Yeah, ban him for me if you can. Just
Okay.
get him out of here. That's weird. Okay. Man, there's somebody sitting around right now and they're home just probably going to random chat rooms saying that stuff. That's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why people feel the need to act like that.
And it wasn't about Star Citizen. And people that want to talk about negative about, I usually let them in the chat. That's fine. You know, you want to say whatever you want to say. You're gonna have to deal with a whole crowd of Star Citizen fans that are gonna jump on you. But if you go saying stuff like that, that is just really strange. Thank you, Mary.
Can we talk about the weather? Like, because this weather.
Oh god,
is
yes, can we? 'Cause it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
And the hypothermia.
Yeah,
Like,
and
people
just
are
like the
excited to talk about
storms.
the weather. what an inversion of expectations, right?
Well,
I
it's
can't wait
just
to go
that
to
we,
Microtech and it's all freezing and snowing and being in a storm and then open up my sliding door because I live in Ohio and just get
So
the
do
full
I.
immersive effect.
Hey, I'm in Ohio too.
I live in Dayton.
Why are
I'm
so many of my
Columbus.
friends in Ohio?
Akron,
I'm in
Canton.
Iowa. The one everybody gets wrong.
I'm from
Ohio's a
Cincinnati.
black
I live in
hole, trust
Columbus.
me.
like, I know we've had this tech before. We've had other games that have done this sort of thing, like Red Dead, for example. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just, it really finishes Star Citizen off. It really, sort of like shows off that planet tech when you like get a snowstorm walking through and.
I mean,
But
just
it's really
imagine,
entire-
like
Sorry.
right now, Star Citizen is already beautiful. Imagine it with just the weather, the fog, the rain, the clouds, and the
Well, the volumetric
God rays.
cloud tech that we saw today
Oh, yeah.
in Pyro, right? Like,
Yeah.
holy
But
wow.
I wonder how long it's going to be when we're flying in weather that we're going to wish we had windshield wipers.
Well, I want to know.
There's precipitation. So there's precipitation on the windscreens when in the first keynote, when the 30-minute keynote, when he come into the Microtech, you actually saw like drips of water going across the windscreen, and all I kept thinking was, "Where's my damn window wipers?"
I mean, am I going to have to like pay for like somebody to come put Rain-X on my cockpit?
No.
And so far, I'm sure they got some sort of.
What might be a better
who's
option
typing?
for
So I can hear
spaceships
somebody-
is just to
Heated
superheat the
windows.
canopy on the outside and just vaporize the water.
So we'll just fly very fast.
Gallers?
Gallus?
So do we have a large amount of people from Ohio then?
I think so.
I think
And
so.
by the way, if
I
you
played quite a
don't
few
know
of them.
this, by the way, all you Ohio people, there is an actual Bar Citizen Ohio group that meets
That's
all
what I
over
was just
Ohio.
about to tell them.
And
Yep.
They all. I found out about it like not that long ago, but I actually got to meet up with all the people from Joram. That one that was just here was there at the Bar Citizen in Ohio.
That was last
really?
year.
That's where I met him. Yeah.
Okay, being the only mod in here is hard.
Where is the Bar Citizen in Ohio?
No, it's a group
it's all
on.
over.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called a group on Discord that you join.
I'll
And
send you.
they have different places that meet up in different cities, but everybody kind of travels to each.
Yep. I'll put a link in the Discord for you guys.
The
So
one thing
in
I
fact,
wanted to know was
we just had the All Ohio last like two weeks ago. We just had the All Ohio meetup. Yep.
Oh man, I missed it.
Yep.
Damn.
It was down in Columbus. So I'm from Northeast Ohio. We all came down. It was a great time. So we had people from all over.
Where in
Dayton.
Columbus was it at?
It was right off of Polaris.
Oh, really?
Again,
Oh man, I'm like I'm hop skipping a jump away from. I could walk there.
You could walk.
Kidding, I'm in Pickerington.
Oh yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm in Pickerington.
I'm in Pickerington quite a bit. I go out there quite a bit.
I keep hearing everybody saying they're from Ohio. I'm from Arizona, but my family used to live in Iowa.
I'm in Iowa.
What part?
Cedar Rapids, the second largest city in Iowa.
You gotta be kidding me. That's where I went to college, is Kirkwood Community College.
Hey, my daughter went there.
Okay.
I do want to ask something about the weather if anybody else is interested. I really want to know if the weather is going to affect flight dynamics. Like if we if we do EDL into Atmo and we're running right into a storm like that.
Oh, I can answer that. Cobra, if I just got a link for that, I'll put it in the Star Citizen Lounge, or
Okay.
I'll put it in the subcast chat.
Okay.
It's already
Okay.
timestamped, so you just want to watch that. So basically, hi.
I'm sorry, there's somebody in chat. If somebody could answer this for me, they wanted to know about VoIP, how to use VoIP.
VoIP is having a bit of an issue at the moment, but it should be that you press the numpad plus or the dot. There's two VoIPs. There's global, which is like your surrounding area, which is like if you're in a room,
Local.
for example. Local, yeah. And there's VoIP that you do over your comms, over your parties.
And if you don't
over your
have a
friends.
pad, you can remap them. I remapped mine.
Yeah.
All right, let's
So,
go ahead and
yeah.
take a look at this video that you got queued up.
So,
It starts
yeah.
at 35:27.
That was that last year's Citizen.con where they talked about the fog tech, the cloud tech, and at the end, after they've explained to us how they made it, they showed a small snippet of I'm not sure if it's what's called like electronic storm in space, but to answer the question if weathers are going to affect us, if you look at the Gladius that's flying and the cockpit where it's all like all the letters are screwing up and the
Is there a bit
UI
of distortion?
Yeah,
Isn't he flying on Crusader?
No, that's not Crusader.
That is distortion. That is so cool.
Yeah, so
This is the coil.
Yeah, that's the coil where
Flying right into an ion storm.
Exactly.
It also showed
So
with the Javelin mission that there was an area you couldn't land in.
If these are affecting ship systems, I'm pretty sure weather systems in planets are also going to do this. If you jump
the
into a
tarp can
storm.
get blown by the wind, so can your ship.
Yeah, they have said.
It just seemed to me like, I don't mean to interrupt people, but it just seemed to me like the Carrack, when it flew over the Ursa rover, was not affected by, all the atmospheric conditions when it flew over during, it just seemed to just fly over without any issues.
Actually, it seemed to be affected quite a bit.
Oh, really? No, I didn't get that
I don't
impression.
think from that viewpoint you would be able to witness any effect from the wind, but maybe from the pilot's viewpoint, maybe the person could feel the drag or have to make certain
turbulence or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe not. I don't think we would witness it. Just like if we saw a 747 flying real high above with high wind, we probably wouldn't notice it, but the pilot would.
It is also a big, heavy ship. Like it could be affected a lot less than like a smaller light fighter.
It also could be the fact that they haven't put that tech in yet. So, like, you got to remember, like, there's only so many hours a day. They can't put everything in at the moment. So it could be just something that's planned for.
I've been a backer since November 2012. I'm well aware. I just couldn't see it, and as like anybody else did. So
Did you also notice how the fighters were kind of weaving back and forth?
Doing
barrels. The AI dogfighting looked really good. Like they were doing barrel rolls and
Let me finish where I'm going. Yeah, I don't think they were weaving like that because, the reason they were going side to side, I don't think that was due to them trying to dodge shots. I think that was more due to the crosswinds.
I don't know if I agree with that.
If that were the case, then wouldn't their aileron rolls have been affected in a similar way? Because if they turn to a 90-degree angle, that seems like it would, throw them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were dodging fire.
The storm had passed them by that point.
Oh, I didn't notice that, actually.
Okay, yeah, fair point.
And besides, I think the ships will still be able to work in inclement weather. I just think, it's from the pilot's perspective.
Yeah.
Apologies, Steel Monkey. We try not to talk over each other, but sometimes we get excited. He's having trouble with too many people talking, hard to get value out of this. I would respond to that right away.
Sorry there, buddy. We are. I'm gonna have to end it soon because I do have to go to work tonight. And I know. I wish I could have. If I had my way, I would have started streaming as soon as I got home this morning, and I would have been streaming all day long. But
I think Stevie has a point there, Cobra. Voice command.
What's that?
Yeah, voice attack.
Command. I've even
Voice
seen
attack.
somebody using voice command in Conan Exiles.
Yeah.
The only voice command I want is Chewie. That's it. That's all I want. Just give me Chewie, and I'll be happy.
I was thinking it might be just easier on my hands.
It would definitely help. I've seen a lot about HCS and their voice packs. They do have a lot of Star Citizen ones that are really good, and they do help a lot with, small tasks that aren't controlling the ship, just controlling, like, for example, landing gear and stuff like that. So HCS is definitely a good option.
Yeah, and it's called Voice Attack, and they have tons of different.
Specifically about the packs, the HCS voice packs,
which is for Voice Attack. But yeah, they have tons of different options. I always go with the William Shatner one. That's my personal favorite. But
I would go with the John Delancey myself.
I go with Doctor Who, or I go with William Shatner. I might go with Data.
Do they have Chewie?
We're all nerds here.
They don't have Data.
Do they have Chewie?
They do have Data. Yeah, they just
Captain Janeway. Give me Captain Janeway.
Well, they have Diana Troy.
Oh.
Yes, they do. Karina.
Is there a Chewie?
To be honest,
I doubt it.
no, not yet.
Not yet. Oh.
But
I
yeah,
have heard
Cobra.
one of the ones they are working on getting is actually Chakotay.
So the video we just saw was the tech for the fog and cloud tech that we just saw when the Carrack passed through the wormhole, where the space was all cloudy and misty.
Yeah.
That's what the technology they worked for this time, and which is something we don't have now in the universe. And one thing I would like to point out: poor Olisar is still alive. It was such a
the week is not
issue.
over.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that leak was wrong. I must admit that the leak was what.
It will always be alive.
That I think is one of the biggest downsides to not getting into the game until January. Is I'm not going to get a chance to see Port Olisar in person.
Well, it's still alive at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to blow it up
until January, and that may not even be till mid-January. So.
Well, they don't work until. They don't work, after the first week of December.
So when is 3.8?
That's a cool ship.
December?
December.
It's in December.
But the ships will be on February and up until March.
He's really working them for between the holidays like that?
It's gonna be
No. So they'll come December 3.8 will come out probably early December to PTU. It'll be launched live probably on the hopefully around the 20th to the 23rd. They go on break from the 23rd through to the 7th or 14th of January. Then they come back and then they start work again from January, maybe 17th, maybe 14th, through to March, and then it's 3.9.
Real quickly, I just wanted to mention that the movement I was talking about wasn't the rolls. I noticed some of them were wobbling kind of left to right. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the game at the moment.
I think that also might just be, three-dimensional pathfinding issues and
again, also fair point.
And what is the ship that we're seeing now?
Carrack.
Oh, I've never seen it.
It's basically the Enterprise of Star Citizen. If that's how
Totally.
compare it, yeah.
Well, I mean, nowhere near as big, but
Yeah, not as big, but yeah.
I would compare it more to the Defiant.
Same.
Or an exploration variation of the Defiant.
Or
Because
it's Steam Runner, Saber class, small starships. Yeah, I'm a Trek nerd. Leave me alone.
I like Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Stargate.
It seems like the biggest, it's the
Firefly.
largest of the multi-crew ships in the capital.
Do you guys have any news about VR? Are they doing VR for the game?
They haven't ruled it out, but it's not in development.
Yeah.
It is somewhat supported.
With
and
disabled.
you can use it, yeah.
disable some of the HUDs, and there's a few problems with it.
Mm.
Okay.
So yeah,
It's
there's
not
a lot of
perfect,
ways to play VR. You can try IR, track IR, VoIP. Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
I'll go ahead and head out, so I'm not.
Joseph,
Yeah,
that's the new planet coming, Microtech.
Microtech, yep.
The last planet on Stanton.
3.8.
No, we've still
It's
got. We've still got Orison landing zone that has to come in yet for Crusader.
That's right. Yep.
I forgot.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go have to shut it down because I do have to run out of here and get to work.
Nice, buddy.
Hey, thank you everybody who came on, came out to the show and got involved in the conversation. I probably will be live again maybe in the next day or so because there's still so much of Citizencon that I have not seen. And if you guys have anything that you want to send me to look at, just add me on Twitter at XXXCobra and just send me whatever links you guys want to send me through DMs or just at me, and I'll definitely take a look. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you for coming out to the show.
See you.
Cobra.
Thanks, Cobra.
All
See you,
right.
Cobra.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye, bro. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out to the show. It is, it's been amazing, and now that I've seen Microtech, I'm gonna be, just, I don't know, putting my head down on the pillow and just dreaming of the day that I can finally explore this planet. It looks so beautiful, so amazing, and I just can't wait. Thank you, everybody. Aaron, thank you so much for wishing me happy birthday. Thank you, buddy. Again, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart for everything that you guys have done, from subscribing to helping us get moved. I'll be thanking those people for the rest of my life. And just, I'll see you guys in the verse. And nobody says this, but may the verse be with you. I don't know if it makes sense, but let's make it a thing. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care.